You jackass? Go now to IHateStevensinger.com and find out what we're talking about. That's IHateStevensinger.com.
Limited quantities, purchase required.
Adam and Eve is not giving you 10% off and not 20% off or even 40%. Your discount is even bigger. AdamandEve.com is giving you a whopping 50% off. But why stop there? In addition to 50% off, you also get 10 free gifts. That includes a racy item for him, a sensuous toy for her, and something we know you'll both enjoy. And 6 extra special bonus items that are sure to rev your engine, pique your curiosity, and even blow you away. And best of all, free shipping, always delivered in discreet packaging. So rethink your bedroom routine. Go to adamandeve.com and enter this station's exclusive code at checkout, DOLL, and get, you know the discount, 50% off almost any item and 10 tantalizing free gifts. That's DOLL, D-O-L-L, DOLL.
The annoying runny nose, the constant sneezing, the itchiness, and battle just to catch your breath. If you suffer from seasonal allergies, sinusitis, or nagging sinus congestion, there's a natural, easy-to-use solution that can help provide fast, drug-free relief. It's called Navage, and it uses powered suction to rinse your nasal passages in seconds. Millions of people use Navage daily to help provide relief from seasonal allergies and sinus congestion. Medications treat the symptoms, but Navage treats the problem at the source, flushing out the allergens and pollen trapped in your nose. Navage also helps wash out airborne bacteria, dust, dirt, and viruses quickly and painlessly, so you can get back to breathing clearly again. Say goodbye to sinus suffering and hello to better breathing with Navage. Navage is available at Walmart, Walgreens, Target, CVS, Rite Aid, and online at Navage.com. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
Ready for a little controversy?
Tell all of your family and friends. Yo, the boys are back. The only show where you can guarantee another morning of hilarity. It's Jim and Sam. You know the party never stops when we're together. It's Jim and Sam. Sing along, Jim and Sam. Mike and Troy will be there too, entertaining me and you. Come and laugh along, it's Jim and Sam. Jim and Sam, it's Jim and Sam. Jim and Sam, it's Jim and Sam.
Welcome to the show. We're all a little hungover from yesterday. Sam got fucked up last night on his birthday.
It was my daughter's meet the teacher night.
Oh, you must have made a mess of that.
No, I didn't get.
How drunk did you get?
I wasn't drunk.
Well, yes, you were. You got loaded out your birthday. You went to the meet to the teacher.
Meet to the teacher.
That's what you gave. Provided a little meat for the teach.
No, it was a fairly uneventful rest of the day. Because, you know, just meet the teacher. That was the highlight. Yeah, no, it wasn't. We probably witnessed it getting as ribald as it was going to get.
You got fucked up yesterday. I know it.
What are you talking about?
Drunk.
No, I didn't get.
Met the teacher.
I know this is like so cool to talk about.
That's my child.
You're gonna raise my.
Yeah.
You'll never be a parent.
Yeah, you don't fucking indoctrinate my child. Shit.
We got cat litter boxes in the bathroom. I know what goes on here. I did come home though and have a nice a heaping helping. Everybody was very worried about me eating the Raising Cane's in studio because I didn't really partake too much because it was early in the morning.
Right.
When I got home, they made a great lunch.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
Great lunch of chicken tenders, Texas toast, and pineapple Faygo. It was really good.
That's a nice birthday.
And let me tell you about Faygo. It goes down smooth.
I was wondering if you were going to like the pineapple.
That's what I went for first.
That's cool.
To get it out of the way if you didn't like it.
Exactly, because I want to have the cotton candy and the ice pop flavor to really look forward to. To know, oh, don't forget, you got that sitting. You got like, so when it's really
Sure.
time to go nuts.
Yeah, when there's some kind of a wrestling thing on. Yeah, whatever it might be. Whatever wrestling highlight program you may enjoy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if there was like that'd be great for a pay-per-view. Yeah.
Are
having
you
that-
drinking soda? Who'd watch that?
No, I was more referring to what I'd be watching.
I apologize. Okay.
Not crafting an event.
Oh, I thought you were just getting
No,
a little
I
bit overconfident.
No, I'm really going to drink it.
Yeah.
You can watch.
Sam's drinking his Faygo tonight, 9 o'clock.
$20.
Be there.
No. Hey, have the kids made it home from Burning Man yet? Have they finally?
I don't know.
Have they finally gotten out of the desert?
They don't all have Chris Rock Diplo juice.
No, but they had to, didn't Chris
hiked
Rock and
5
Diplo
miles,
had to
yeah.
like walk?
5 miles, and they finally caught a ride with the fan.
Yeah.
Burning
Yeah.
Man never appealed to me anyway. I'm not an outdoor festival. Like, I'll go to Ozfest, but I don't like outdoor festivals. I've done Bonnaroo.
No, you barely like leaving the house. I couldn't imagine
Don't like it.
going out into the desert for a week to get in touch with humanity through music would be.
If you are fucking high, it might be great. Yeah, there's footage of Chris.
And Diplo.
Yeah. If you're high, maybe it's great. Like, I wish I could do ayahuasca because a friend of mine just did ayahuasca and she said it really is life changing.
Yeah.
But I would love to be able. She went like to.
What do you think would happen if you did ayahuasca?
I don't know. It supposedly opens you up, opens
That's
up
right.
memories. It just kind of clears like all these things that are cluttering. You just have a good. But she went to like South America and was there for like a week and did it for like 4 nights. Like, it's a real program.
But I think Ari said that you're supposed to really do it. That's what you have to do. Like, there's a whole protocol before and after. You're not supposed to have sex for like a week after you do it.
Forget it.
Okay. I know that'd be tough for you. So many options.
Viral.
Yeah, you're a virile guy.
Thank you.
But you go to like a shaman
Yeah.
or whatever, somebody that does this, and you go and you're with them for like 2 or 3 days, and then there's a whole period of coming off of it and everything. So you do have to, I think, take like a week to properly partake.
Yeah, this was, I want to say, she said she did it 4 nights. She said the 4th night was the longest one. And they walk you through it. There's buckets for you to vomit in because you do vomit. That's the part I wouldn't like, but it feels almost medicinal as opposed to getting high. I can't fuck with it because I don't know what that would mean for being sober, but I do want to do it because everyone I know who's done it has said it really is life-changing.
It feels like a leap, though, for you
Yeah.
to
Could
go.
you-
You can just do a gummy, right? Like,
Well,
I mean, I know you can't, but
No, that's a getting. That to me is just to get high. I'm looking at this as almost like something you're going to like a shock therapy or something like that to just unlock.
like when you did for your penis.
Kind of, yeah. It was fun. needle right in the head. Showed me who's boss.
yeah, that's what I was going to say. Can't you just look at it like it's a medical thing?
Yeah, that's how I do
Yeah,
see
yeah.
it. But the puking would get me.
I think you're just in another place. And I would imagine, I didn't do it, but I would imagine it's like you're just getting rid of the garbage inside.
Yeah.
It feels so good to like get rid of it.
I
That's what
also
they say. Have you done it or no?
No, I'm a little, it seems like it's like a commitment of a trip.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like if you eat a gummy and you're too high, in an hour you come down. But it's like when you're locked in for hours, like when I've done
Days.
acid before, and it's like 7-8 hours. You're in it.
Yeah, these are days.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it goes south early,
You're fucked.
You're fucked.
She said no one left though. She said there's a lot of people. She showed me pictures of the room and stuff, and it's immaculate and clean, and like the room, like the whole place is very clean and very. It's obviously like it's what they do, and it seems to be a legit operation. But it just the idea, like I don't think I would ever have done well on acid. I just the way I panic and I don't know. I don't know. Nobody ever wanted to trip with me. I did mescaline, but acid people were like it's wrong for you.
Oh, even when you were like young.
But yeah, they're like acid is probably not for you.
Wow. Even as a youngster, that's
Yeah.
so funny.
But mescaline was fun. Ayahuasca.
Yeah, you don't want to panic. You don't want to get paranoid.
No.
And those are things that you're prone to.
I think there's probably somebody there that kind of helps steer you.
There is, yeah, I'm sure.
So if you start going like, I'm freaking out, they were like, oh, calm down, like bring you back down to earth. Because I'm sure it happens all the time.
Oh, yeah. She said there's a couple of people that were tempted to leave after the first day or but they didn't. They got other people talked them into staying. And they went through it, and it was pretty amazing. Food is good. You're not supposed to drink coffee for like a week before.
Yeah. I wonder, though, how many people any of the effects actually stick with. It feels like a very, very heightened version of, when you go on like a great, relaxing vacation and you have a whole new perspective while you're out there and you come back and you're like, you know what? I'm going to change everything. I'm going to be a different guy. Like, I'm going to try to maintain this sort of new vibe I've got. And
Sure.
within 2 days, you're back to exactly what you were doing before.
Yes, and how much of it is just a drug-induced,
Yeah.
very convincing high, and how much of it is actually therapeutic? I don't know. I have no answer for it. But
Because
enough people have done it that say it really is helpful.
long term or in the moment.
That's a good question. I don't know.
Because even therapy, right? It's not like you can go to therapy once or even for a few weeks and go, okay, now I'm done. Like it's kind of an active thing. Even if you start going less often,
Yep.
you still got to do your check-ins and keep yourself.
Yeah,
That's
I haven't
fine.
gone in a little while. You kind of get stale with it after a while. Like you run into a wall, but then you're like, no, I think I need to go back. Like I start to feel
Yeah.
I'm not handling things as well. I'm getting, whatever. You start to feel it in yourself.
I get
And
that.
the person you live with tells you.
Right.
Yeah. You need meetings. All right.
You don't want that.
Yeah, no, but it's helpful.
It is, yeah. That's one of those things that's tough to argue.
Yeah.
When the person who lives with you tells you you need to go to a meeting or you need to go back to therapy. Because they're not personally attacking you.
No.
They're telling you, I know what this is.
And when you've developed a hobby, a bit of a hobby that has now become consuming and is taking up too much space in the house.
Are we speaking directly about, for instance, like Kiss posters?
It's crazy. Like I have to stop. Like there's one more I want to get, or
Good.
two more.
Good. I was just thinking because before you were like, there's just the one more, so this should be it.
But I did go recently to get these giant ones framed, and neither one were in the condition that I liked. So I was like, no, just don't do it. Just keep them. I'm not gonna do it. I'm like tapering off.
But only because they're not in the condition that you want.
Yeah, but even that, I'm like, am I really gonna bring this fucking monster? She'll murder me. Like I just can't do it.
But if you found a mint,
Fuck her.
right? It's a dangerous thing. I get it. Like you go, you know what? Because I've had those moments where I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna sell like all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Right, and just get all the clutter out of the way, and then I'll have like all this money to whatever, like buy a watch, buy something, like make it so much easier, simple, streamlined. And then one of two things happens. Either you go, well, no, I'd like to add that to the collection. So if I'm adding to the collection, I better not sell it
Sure.
yet. Or you start looking at your stuff and you're like, well, actually, I want to keep that. And then you're not getting rid of anything.
No, and I understand hoarders, like, but not in the dirty, gross, or like I saved this tuna fish from the late '80s, like, but the stuff that means something to you. I understand how things can mean so much to you that really don't have a lot of value to other people.
Right. It does feel great to do a big clean out. Like when there's stuff that has just been piling up that you don't need. And you just start throwing stuff into trash bags and you get it all out of there and there's all this space. Feels great.
Yeah. I have an idea for a YouTube channel. I don't want to say it, but I'll never do it though, so I wouldn't be able to do it.
But do you think this is a
I'll-
hit?
No, I just wanted to do it.
Oh, what are we going to do?
Where I destroy collectibles. Like where you
mean.
No, not against people's will, but you get people to give you, or you somehow procure things that are hard to get.
Yeah.
That some people would collect, and you just destroy them.
I mean, it's not bad. Like,
No,
you would have angry clicks if you had a rare Pokemon card.
and you just cut it in half.
Right. There's only X number of these left in the world.
Yeah.
Just threw it in a fire.
Or just something that people value. Like, hey, that's a rare, like the first Kiss poster. That's one I would still buy. It's got a red background. It's from 1974. It's hard to get in good condition.
You know, it'd be great if you could get it funded, if you could get like a sponsor, and then you go to people's collections. Like you come to my place and go, I want to destroy your Mick Foley shirt. Let me
Hey.
buy it off you.
I mean, I can say that to you now. I want to destroy it.
Well, you can say you want.
How much you want for it?
You don't have like $200, do you?
Done. I would just
But
like to wear it.
if you could find something like that, like, because then the collectors would also get mad at the people who sold it.
Yep.
Right? Like, how could you? Okay, you're telling them straight up, I'll pay you more than you would get for it if you sold it on eBay. You know, whatever. This picture of Kiss here is $100 on eBay. I'll give you $250 for it right now, but I'm going to destroy it. And you see if people are willing to get. All right,
You pay them more than they want for it.
way more, but they know you're gonna destroy it, and then you show. You don't have to do it right in front of their faces to make it hurt.
Well, how about if that's part of the show? You not only you pay them a lot more than they want, but they have to destroy it.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I mean, like, say you're selling
Now you're getting cruel, though.
No, but it's like because they're selling it. Like, let's say you sold your wrestling figures. What are they worth? $30.
No, the whole.
How much do you get? Like, say $2,000, maybe more. Say $5,000
more
for your figures. Let's just say that was what the figure was. Let's say you put them up for an auction somewhere and say, hey, I'm selling all these figures for $5,000. And they came to you and said, okay, we'll give you $8,000 or $10,000, but you have to destroy them.
Well, now you're getting into that weird, like, and it's not a bad genre, but that genre of how badly will someone humiliate themselves for money. And not that it's humiliation, but you're watching somebody go through pain
Yep.
for money.
And it's
Which is a little like, now we're starting to, can I strip this person of their humanity? What's the price?
But it is an interesting,
Which is interesting.
study on collections and what do they mean to us? Because
$8,000.
it is right. But if you're selling it, a lot of times people will sell something because they just collected it and they don't get attached to it. And they're like, yeah. And other times it means so much to you, but you need some money, so you sell it. So would people do that?
And you'd have to find the real people, not people who just have stuff that they would
100%.
sell anyway.
And there's a million ways to find people selling collections or selling these things online.
You know what the key would be? You put it under the guise of, we want to interview you for a collectibles show. So it's not even people trying to sell necessarily. And so it's like you're just interviewing them about their collection because they love it so much, because that's the people that you would need for this to work. And then you start making offers,
Yeah.
right? Because that way you know it's not just a dealer
The guy was getting
that's trying to sell.
Sure,
I don't
sure.
care if you destroy it or not. I was going to sell it anyway.
Yeah.
Like, I want to interview you about your collection. I want you to show it off. And then once you get there, how much did you say that was worth? Oh, it goes for this much on the market. Well, what if I were to give you double plus what it's worth? What if I were to give you 150% what it, or 250% what it was worth? Then the wife would be there. Yeah, you should do it. We were
In a second, she would, for face value, she would go get rid of it. It's a comic book. It says 35 cents on it. It was worth 50,000.
Yeah, we'll do it for $3. Yeah. Yeah.
Because I only thought of that because it would be so painful to do. Like, I couldn't do it.
Yeah, I mean, right, and it's damaging though. Like they're how it's like when you go back when we did it not too long ago when we went back and watched the Joe Schmo show. It's at the time you're just watching this prank get pulled off, but then you also realize like this is ruining this man's trust forever. Like
Yeah.
you've psychologically damaged this person by putting him in an environment where everyone's lying to him. And forever, that's going to affect him mentally. Like this, in the moment, they'll be like, of course I'll take the $8,000. But then you'll get to see them and you'll see it in their face, like watching them do this thing that they don't want to do. And then you'll leave and it will kind of ruin their life probably.
Well, that's why I wanted to get people who are selling things. And there are a lot of people who are selling them. And some are dealers, but some are people who just have, you know, on Facebook, there's enough places to look.
Yeah.
Where you can find legit people who are like, hey, I'm getting rid of my collection if you want to.
Yes.
Like, and there's dealers, and then like there's even dealers in these Facebook groups. But then you have people that are legitimately like, no, you know what? It's time to get rid of it, and I love it, and those are the people I'm talking about. People who are ready to get rid of it. Anyway, does getting rid of it matter to you? What happens to it? Or
I think most collectors want to see their stuff go to a good home.
I think you're right.
And that's where it would get dicey.
Yeah.
Because I do think that even when people, and you see that on like those Facebook groups, even when people are ready to get rid of their junk,
Yeah.
they still, you give it like a life, right? Like this is meaningless tchotchkes, and you give it some sense of life that you actually want it to live on. You, okay, well, I don't need it anymore, and it's getting too much, but I want to make sure that it goes to the right home. I want to make sure that it'll be
Right.
appreciated.
Because but you have to ask yourself, like, what is it that I like about this stuff? Like, why do I have this? I got 3 posters in the mail last night, right? 1 tube, and they were in hideous condition.
They were.
Yeah. Luckily, I have 2 of them already. I probably bought doubles thinking a while ago.
Luckily is right. That was a load off.
But I'm like, what am I doing? Like, I don't want these.
Right.
Like, I bought them, like, because the couple of them I've gotten are rare. Like, I'm like, yeah, that's really hard to find. And like, okay, I get why I got that one.
But there's
What?
the
Why
thrill
this?
of the chase, too.
It's the thrill of the chase.
A lot of times, by the time it arrives in the mail, you don't even
Dude, I
really
forgot.
care anymore. It's the thrill of the chase, and especially when you're bidding on stuff online and you found this thing that you didn't think you would ever find again.
Right. Yeah.
And then you convince yourself like, well, what's worse is regretting buying it or regretting not buying it. I can always make the money back, but I might never see this again. And then you buy it, and then you've spent the money, and then it comes in the mail, and you're like, I would have much preferred the cash.
Yeah, what am I doing?
I don't need
like,
this.
like, or even if I like the item. Like I've put some up that I'm actually very happy with, and I like them because I think you get bored also with your aesthetics the way they are.
Sure.
Like when you have this is hanging, that's hanging. Like you just kind of get bored. Like I want to change it up a little, which is fine. But
Totally
I know
fine.
that in a year I'm not going to want my house to look the way it looks.
No, and what are you going to go? Are you going to sell posters,
No,
right? Are you going to spend a whole bunch of time trying to sell posters on the internet?
no.
No. So
Same.
they're set.
I'll just save them in museum glass.
Right. And then a museum will be like, yeah, you're wasting our glass.
Yeah, we don't care.
We don't need
What are you
this.
doing with this shit?
Who cares? And why are you protecting it from the sun if it's just sitting in a closet?
And it's in the hallway. And it's not that rare an item that you have to protect. I just don't like the reflections, so I protect it from the sun.
Yeah, no sun's hitting it.
It's
Nobody
just-
cares.
But it's a style. Like what is it about me that makes me collect this stuff or always need this thing, this fucking thing?
It's that obsession. It's that obsessive thing
Yeah.
that just kicks in. And then you also want to be I want to have the best poster collection. Right? Like I want to make sure that people know that I'm the real deal. I'm such a fan of this band or this whatever that I want, if I get this, I'll have the best poster collection.
Yeah, but I don't show it to anybody.
I know.
Just
Nobody
me.
cares. And even if you did, like you're an established person. Like Jim Norton is already a built brand. You're already known. For you to be like, also I have the best Kiss poster collection. People go,
Yeah.
who cares? We know you from your comedy specials. We
No one
watched
cares.
you on the Tonight Show. What are you talking about? Kiss poster collection?
Like if you're gonna do it, if you're like John 5,
That's different.
His Nights in Satan service. I'll promote again his excellent Instagram. It's all really like he has rare shit like bootlegs from like El Salvador, like all this weird stuff, like releases overseas, Mexican newspaper posters, things that you would never be able to get.
But that's also the dream that we'll one day have like this space where, and money,
A giant house.
a giant house where a whole wing of it, and money that has to go in because you have to design a collecting room around putting things up and displaying things. So you think that one day you'll have this museum quality space, and you won't. Like that's Kirk Hammett has this incredible horror collection.
Yep.
Incredible. But he's Kirk Hammett. Like of course he does. He could buy a house like what's his name? Film director who has his,
Yes,
Guillermo del Toro.
Del Toro, yeah.
he bought a house just to work out of.
Yep.
And so he can make that his just explosion of everything he loves. But how many of us are ever going to
Right
buy a
time.
property? Like it wouldn't make sense. What are you going to buy a house so you can write your jokes?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. You need a certain amount of room and a big home to do that, like a giant collecting area.
Right.
And half of it probably just sits there and doesn't bring you any joy. I actually have a few of the things that he's showing.
So you
I really
feel
like
good about yourself? You're thinking to yourself, oh, actually, maybe this is good that I'm collecting. Like
No. I just, I don't feel bad.
You shouldn't.
No, I like looking at it though.
You're not in the vintage t-shirt rap, though, are you?
No t-shirts.
That's
no.
dangerous.
Yeah.
Vintage t-shirts are crazy now.
I almost
like-
bought those 4 things right there.
You should scroll up a little.
These 4.
You should.
I almost bought them off of, there's 4 things from Kiss Meets the Phantom posters.
I can't believe you didn't get those.
Can you click on one?
Sure.
Because they were expensive and I couldn't spend the money.
German Attack of the Phantom and Italian Attack of the Phantom poster.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I almost bought them off eBay, but I was told no.
You were told no.
Yeah, they were way too expensive.
Oh, Paul Stanley Solo 78 tour jacket.
Man,
That's
nice.
awesome. A red
Like
satin.
that's a legit collection.
That's an awesome piece.
That first thing, if you go to the top, Troy,
Yep. Which one here?
no, the way up the top, at the very first piece, he has this thing from that top left banner. That's from this Kiss Off competition that, like, when Kiss was like in 1974. And this is like a weird banner. It's a one-of-a-kind banner. It was like a big thing in their history.
And it's signed. It's a great banner. But you have an apartment in the city. Like,
I can't do this.
You look like an idiot having that up. This doesn't look like an idiot where he is.
No.
You
It's a giant house.
Right.
I want to go to John Five's
And he's
house.
a musician.
I want to go to his house. I don't know him. And he probably wouldn't want me there, but I
Probably
just want to
wouldn't
go
want
and
you
peek around.
Right.
I want to just go and poke around while he's on the road.
Can I look at your stuff?
Hey, dude, you guys go to like South America. Can I just go poke around?
I won't touch anything. I
Yeah,
won't
just go
touch
poke
all-
around your stuff.
I don't touch anything. I just like to look.
I just like to look. Oh, Jack.
John, I'm your friend, right?
Yes. Yeah. The posters had no corner damage, Jack. I don't touch it. I just look at it. Yeah. So whatever. That whole ayahuasca thing. I didn't mean to get off on a Kiss tangent. Just
No, it's
I'm sure it's
all part of it.
very boring for people. But it's
So do you have to clear your purchases with your significant other? You said that she said no to the Phantom posters.
I stopped. No, I just hang them sometimes, and she doesn't notice for a week. I hung one yesterday,
Mhm.
and she has not noticed yet.
Are you worried that she will?
Yeah, she absolutely
going
will,
to
because she
notice.
already told me she hated it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, so she told you that she hated it before you bought it?
Yeah, but I loved it so much more than I thought I would.
So you showed her on the computer. This is what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
She's like, I hate that poster. And she doesn't know that it is hanging on her
It
wall.
was on the way, and this was a mint copy, and I had to put it up.
It's on the wall.
Yeah.
In the foyer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
That's the most trafficked portion
It
of the
sure
house.
is.
Yeah.
It's the first thing I see when I walk out of my bedroom in the morning, because it's in the bottom right hand.
Does it make you happy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For now.
Yeah.
Just put it up yesterday.
I bought I bought a replica Chucky doll recently. It makes me happy to see that every day. It's down. I have to keep it in the basement. My wife won't let me have it anywhere else in the house.
Why?
She doesn't like it. She thinks it's really creepy because it's a Chucky doll, full
Yeah.
size replica. But it walking to my studio, there's Chucky. I'm like, this is awesome. I rule.
Yeah. And that's something something I would never buy.
Right.
Like a
Look at
Chucky.
that.
Oh, yeah. That's
That
kind of cool.
rules.
I get it.
Looks just like the movie.
Yeah. See, that would do nothing for me. Like, it's weird. Like, what one person loves, another person just puts no value on.
And if you look in the corner, see that gray and black in the top left corner?
Yep.
That is an acrylic on velvet original painting of The Undertaker. I look at that and I go, there's just the one of those. I'm the man for having
It makes you happy to
Yeah,
have it.
yeah.
That is an ugly creature.
You talking about Chucky?
Or the gentleman in the picture with him.
Are you talking
Yeah.
about the foreground or the background?
It's two monsters horrifying each other.
Could you clarify here what your
Yeah, little shit that just makes you happy to have.
look at there? The championship is right there. I didn't win that championship. It's just hanging on the wall. I didn't win that. But Dan Soder told me he bought one. It got me excited. I had to buy one too.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
And I look at it, I get excited,
Yeah.
It's a good thing. But yeah, so Burning Man, everybody is coming home because, they go out into the desert and they spend, what is it, usually a week?
It's about a week, yeah.
Yeah. But there were tropical storms. And so I think it's 5 miles off of a main road, right? So it's a dirt, like mud, dirt road, 5 miles into the desert to get to this festival. And the tropical storms came in. Everybody kind of just hunkered down.
Sheltered in place.
Right. And they're in like RVs and stuff like that. And the road got totally washed out.
Yeah.
So they go, do not leave. You're going to get stuck. And they said people were trying to leave and there were all
Of
these
course.
cars getting stuck.
Yeah.
because it's all mud because it all got destroyed. And obviously it's the desert. They're not used to having
Right.
storms out there. I think it was one of the only tropical storms Nevada has had.
And people were just, and I would have been one of those idiots that tried to leave, like, just get the fuck out of here, you old manic.
In the middle of the storm.
And they
as
just
it's
got
pouring
stuck.
down.
Yeah. Yeah. And they said like it would harden again. Because the advantage is it's so hot there
Right.
that the mud is probably going to harden in a day or so.
But then they said, I think on Monday or Tuesday of this week was the day they finally opened the road again. And they go, look, the road's open, but we would advise you stay another day because it's going to take hours and hours and hours. There's 70,000 people
Yeah.
all trying to leave. Yeah, look at that. That's a Wrangler, right? So that's already high up off the ground. And it's built, it's
built for
lifted.
that shit. Yeah.
It's a lifted Wrangler and it's still stuck in the mud.
Yeah, that sucks. Because then people have to get out and you're in the mud.
Yeah. But they got an orgy tent at the Burning Man.
A bunch of dirty, muddy feet, foul assholes.
I think Andrew Schultz is the one that told me about the orgy tent in the Burning Man.
Oh, he went to it?
Not this year, but years ago we were talking about it. Yeah, he said it was weird because he just went in and watched. And he was like, it was a real weird vibe.
Yeah, that seems like one.
You wouldn't orgy tent at the Burning Man?
Nah, I don't think so.
Well, even
No.
if you were stuck, it's like, we can't go anywhere.
My dick
Maybe we
would-
should orgy tent.
I could never. Like my dick panics.
It does?
Yeah, I just couldn't.
Don't take us here, Jim. Don't take us here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With all those people watching, my dick would just like forget it.
But they're not watching you.
Doesn't
They're all-
matter.
Right.
It's like dancing.
Mm.
I don't dance on the dance floor because I think people are going to laugh at me.
You should pull up your pants and lean back.
Yeah, just kind of relax and
Nice.
nod my head
Nice.
like a cool guy. Yeah, I'd be one of those assholes getting stuck.
You would?
Yeah, without a doubt.
You can see a Mercedes stuck in the desert because you wanted to try something new. All you wanted to do was expand your horizons. You wanted to try something new, and now you're stuck in the mud in the desert.
But the idea that 70,000 people are leaving at the same time.
And your lady would be in the passenger seat yelling at you about, why did you leave early? I told you we shouldn't leave. I know.
Why did we just wait? I fucking know. And I had a new Kiss Destroyer poster rolled up in the back. There's going to get fucking mud on it. But just the idea that you have to wait behind all these slow assholes driving over a fucking hardened mud road.
Yeah, that's why they said just chill. Hang out here on Monday or Tuesday and leave tomorrow.
Or the
clear
pressure
up.
of being first in that line, knowing you're the first line into the mud. Like if I get stuck, everyone else
yeah.
gets stuck.
Yeah, that's true.
Can we see a picture of that track? I want to say it's like 6 rows of cars or something.
Mm-hmm.
You see the trucks leaving.
Yeah,
Burning
the
Man?
cars leaving Burning Man. 'Cause there's a photo of like a whole giant row of cars, and I think they're like six or 10 wide or whatever.
Yeah.
It is. That just sucks. God, I would hate that. I would hate that festival.
You would.
That's not.
You-
I didn't
you
like
have to-
Mardi Gras.
Burning Man and Mardi Gras are not the same.
No,
thing.
but just any of those things. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, about 10.
You'd be the one. You'd be the asshole trying to switch lanes.
I
You think one was going
100%.
fast? Like, what does this dickhead do? We're all stuck here, and this one asshole in a luxury SUV is switching lanes.
I'd be right though. I guarantee you, there's fucking people going slow on their phones.
I think when you go to Burning Man though, you have to succumb to the lifestyle. You have to just chill.
This
like,
is what
okay,
it is. Yeah.
We're gonna let's start heading out. It's gonna take us all day to get out of here. It's only 5 miles, but it's gonna take hours.
Well, 5
It
miles.
is
What
it
road
is.
does it take you to? Like it takes you 5 miles.
But then then it's still like
You're still on the
a
highway.
nothing road. I think it's way more than 5 miles away from I think Reno might be the closest city.
Reno is, but I guarantee you, when you get there, the shit traffic it bleeds in.
100%. They're not. It's 70,000 people, especially if they've been stuck. They're all leaving at the same time.
You imagine what the toilets on the way home must have looked like? A line 50 people deep.
Well, a lot of people are in RVs, hopefully. So they just have. I mean, hopefully their septic's up to
That's
date.
probably not nearly as bad as being in a car with a tent.
That would suck. Being in an RV, at least you have a somewhat comfortable bed, Maybe you got a generator or something.
Do you know what the worst is when you're in the RV and it's pouring rain and it's muddy and you hear, we come into our tent's got a hole in it.
And you're at Burning Man, so you're supposed to be
Yeah, welcoming.
right. You're
Here's,
like,
yeah.
no, you can't.
Sorry, we don't have any room. Fuck you.
Full. We're
Yeah.
all full. You slide open the window like in The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, just wouldn't allow it.
Nope.
All right, is this, what's his name?
Nut.
Knut.
No, Canute. All right, or is it Newt? Hey, man.
Newt in Nevada.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, bud.
The Burning Man, it's not just a desert, it's a dry lake bed they call a playa. I've camped out there 4 or 5 times. It's really cool.
You love it.
Yes.
But-
went to when during COVID they canceled Burning Man and we went to what was called Renegade Burning Man in 2021.
Nice.
It was no regulations and it got kind of crazy.
What'd you do?
But I got naked.
Nice,
That's
dude.
great.
Nice, dude. Are you a in shape guy or a little overweight?
I'm fat as fuck.
Nice, just a big fat. So is this is this Burning Man or the Gathering of the Juggalos?
when we were driving in there, the first thing my girlfriend saw was a dude riding naked on a bicycle.
That's what's up, dude. That was Troy.
Yeah, sans seat.
All tatted up. Yeah, no seat. Nice pole sticking up. So, if you were at Burning Man and you were in all this traffic and everything, would you be angry or panicking, or is it just like, whatever, dude, we're here. It is what it is.
Yeah, just whatever, dude. It is what it is.
Yeah.
I live on I-80, so we see them drive through all the time.
Yeah.
When you're leaving Burning Man, how long does it take to get from like the main Burning Man site, the campground? Like when you're leaving and everyone else is leaving, how long of a ride are you in for that day?
I heard this year it was taking about 7 hours.
Wow.
To go how long?
The 4 or 5 miles from the main Burning Man site to the highway.
How long would that normally be without the mud problem?
5 miles.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
No. I mean, when normally when a Burning Man,
Oh,
like there's still got to be 4 or 5 hours.
It always takes about 6 to 8 hours to get out of Burning Man on what they call Exodus on the way out.
Right.
I guess it's just part of the deal, right? You're just prepared for it.
It's a part of your trip. Yeah, it's like this is what. It's like
Yeah.
going to the airport. You're going to sit and go through security. It is what it is.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, bud.
Thank you.
Every year.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I remember, like, you don't forget this. Even as a kid, I remember going to like a wrestling show at Wembley Stadium. Wembley?
Unbelievable. Sure.
I think you've heard of it.
I have. Yeah, Hulk Hogan.
Bro, I mean, his lies are out of control.
He talk about he wrestled it, but and there should have been a little boy there, but the boy passed away.
He's still telling that story. He was literally telling it while we were on break.
Yeah.
His lies are out of control. He was on Rogan's show. He's just lying.
No, he's not.
100% he was lying.
I don't believe
He
it.
went on Rogan's show. He was like, when Brock got out of the UFC, I was his first opponent. No, you weren't.
Yes, he was.
He wasn't even in WWE when Brock got out of the UFC.
Nah, but you see, you're just saying that because you're a company man.
There's no company about it. He just lies. There's so many. Look, another Hulk Hogan. Another Hulk Hogan lie caught red-handed from his appearance on JRE. I mean, I felt bad for Joe. I needed somebody. Tony Hinchcliffe was sitting right next to him. It's like, Tony, tell him he's lying.
Tony, now, I did see the picture of Joe and Tony, and is Tony a big wrestling fan?
Tony's a big wrestling fan. I don't know if he is like as big as me in the sense that he can just sit there and be like, this timeline doesn't match up. There's no way this Wembley story is true.
Sure
it couldn't
was.
be.
I cry every time I hear the song.
I do too because it's so full of lies.
No, it's not. Beautiful song. Poor boy, sick.
Is this him telling the Wembley story on Joe Rogan?
Let me just give it a preview. quick.
Okay.
I hope so. Very moving story.
I was at the show. Hogan was out of the WWE. He wasn't there.
It's not true. You're just saying that.
Why would I say
Vince
that?
told you to.
Why would Vince be interested in that?
Well, I don't want to get into it now. I'm busy.
No, you're right. You're right.
It's a lie.
You're tired of Hulk Hogan's good name being besmirched?
Yes. He's telling these great stories and people are giving him shit. People like you are just jealous that you're not in Hulk's inner circle.
He goes like, when Brock got out of the UFC, I was the first guy they put him with. He fought Brock before Brock went to UFC.
Maybe we might have a little CTE.
I mean, it's
Taking
like,
a few fucking hits, big knees to the head.
I do sometimes wonder if he knows what is the truth and what is just total legend.
Right. Yeah.
And he might have just like made these stories up in his head so much that he doesn't even know.
Yeah, you've been telling him for so long.
Like the Wembley story he's been telling for so long that maybe he truly does think, no, I was in Wembley. Because he said he was in Wembley. He was with Simon Cowell. He brought Simon Cowell back to the United States to work on after Wembley.
Oh, that's cool.
To work. And it's like all this stuff like that. None of this.
It all happened.
It could have all happened, but it's certainly not in the way that he described.
Yeah.
This video is called "Has Hulk Hogan Ever Said Anything True?"
Yeah, no, he has.
I mean, there's like video evidence, like recent history that dictates that this couldn't have happened.
Nah, you see, you guys are having revisionist history because you're angry at Hulk.
I'm not angry at Hulk.
You're a Hulkamaniac who's disenfranchised.
I'm a disenfranchised
Hulkamaniac.
You can never trust a disenfranchised Hulkamaniac.
No, not at all. He was at Wembley. He was going to wrestle for that.
I was
little
at
lad.
Wembley.
I wish you weren't.
I was the lad.
And your foreskin was too tight.
Yeah, the song. Hulk Hogan sang a song about a poor young boy with phimosis.
Yeah, phimosis.
Then I'd be like, yeah, I can vouch for that.
Yeah, fluid builds up in it and it begins to smell like a locker room.
Well, that's not what that. No doctor ever
you have
said
to
that.
squeeze it like the balloon and tinkle goes all over your thighs.
He didn't say anything about thighs.
Well, for our guest, it's just
What, sitting under the learning tree?
not our guest, but our friend. What is the learning tree?
The learning tree is what somebody sits under as two experts speak, and they can just sit there and take all the information in. You've never heard of the expression?
I've heard
sit
of
under
it.
the
I
learning
didn't know what it meant.
We are the experts. I'm putting us up on a pedestal.
Oh, it's silly.
I like that you were so far removed. You were like, I don't even understand the context of what you're saying.
Yeah, I didn't understand. We have Saraya here because she's filming our interview today.
That's right.
She's just sitting there.
That's
We
right.
should chat with her.
Would you like to?
Of course. She come up.
Step up to the table. Sir.
Yeah. We always like a good Saraya update, and she's a big wrestling fan.
She's one of the biggest.
Yeah. Big Hulk Hogan fan. Do you think Hogan's full of shit?
No.
He lies a lot, Saraya.
I have to put my microphone up.
We can't hear it.
Oh, hello, everybody. Hello, friends.
How are you, Saraya?
I'm very well, and thank you for happy birthday,
Thank you.
and thank you for the autograph and the picture.
When I got here, because I told you that when I did that signing a couple weeks ago, she had messaged me, I wish I could go. And when I sat down, she said, there's something I've been wanting to do. And I went, oh, no.
All of a sudden you heard a gunshot.
I wouldn't do that.
And she put a piece of paper and she went, can I have your autograph? And I went, oh, that's very sweet. Of course you can.
She's very kind.
And then she was like, and I want to take a picture. And instead of doing it like one traditionally does at a meet and greet where it would be two in frame, she just held her phone up to me and took a photo of me sitting there uncomfortably and then asked me to sign her book and offered me money, which I obviously turned down.
Wait, are you sure?
Yes.
How much did you offer him?
Well, I believe it was $20 for the full package.
$20.
It's very kind of you.
$20. But you keep that 20.
Okay.
Brandon in Minnesota. What's up, Brandon?
Hey, how are you? Okay, so have you guys seen the Twitter thread? It's by a guy named Alan_cheapshot, and it's literally probably 60 tweets in a row of all the lies that Hulk Hogan has told over the course of 30 years.
Well, the guy probably just hates Hogan. He's disenfranchised Hulkamaniac.
Why do you think this is all the work of disenfranchised Hulkamaniac?
I know it is. Hulk doesn't lie. It's bullshit.
So I mean, this one's really good. John Buscemi sadly died in 1982, but apparently, according to the Hulkster,
Jim Belushi,
he
not John
partied with him
Buscemi.
after WrestleMania 2 in 1986.
He did say John Belushi partied with him after WrestleMania, and it was a date in which Belushi had passed.
Yeah, but that could just be he mixes up a date.
It was WrestleMania 2.
No, but he's mixing up date. He probably got high with him at one point, but maybe he fucked up the date.
It's WrestleMania 2.
Yeah.
Well,
He said after WrestleMania 2, I partied with John Belushi because it was in Chicago. And it was. I think he wrestled in Chicago. They did it in 3 venues. Yeah, his was in Chicago, right?
Had he ever wrestled in Chicago before that?
I'm sure he had wrestled in Chicago, but WrestleMania 2 was a huge...
Sure. But I mean, again, as you get older and your CTE starts kicking in, you may start fucking losing dates.
Yeah, Yeah, but CTE wouldn't really talk about how the fact that he says they turned down being a bass member for Metallica and the Rolling Stones.
Well, that was a little bit of an embarrassing one. He did say at one point, he's changed that story since, but at one point he did say that he was almost the bassist for Metallica.
That would have been so awesome.
Yeah, but unfortunately, Lars said that he doesn't know anything about Hulk Hogan. He doesn't like wrestling. He's never met him, and that never happened.
I think Lars is just in on it because Lars realizes what a mistake they made.
Well, do you think Lars is potentially
That's true.
a disenfranchised Hulkamaniac?
Sure he is.
I think that's
Sure
possible.
he is. He sings for the boys and girls.
It's better than Brewers.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that Lars is just angry because he knows that how much better Metallica would have been with Hulk.
Do you think that better?
100%.
So
Rob
you-
Trujillo's good. Don't get me
not-
wrong.
But not.
He ain't Hulk.
He ain't
Hulk
the
would
Hulkster.
stand there strumming away with his headband, making eyes, bug eyes to the audience and go crazy.
Crazy Hulkster eyes.
Ripping his shirt off.
Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right.
Yeah. Yeah, all this shit on.
You know what? I think Jim's correct.
Well, there's a quote that he says he was pals with Lars Ulrich. Thank you, Brandon. I was big pals with Lars Ulrich, and he asked me if I wanted to play bass with Metallica in their early days, but it didn't work out. And then Lars was like, "No, I'd never met that guy in my life."
Has anybody ever heard him play the bass guitar?
I believe he plays bass guitar.
Sure he does.
I don't know if it's like is Metallica. How is their bassist?
Incredible.
He's very, very good.
He's pretty good.
When Cliff died,
Hulk Hogan is one of the best bassists in the history of metal, but he does own a bass guitar.
and they did have tryouts, so maybe he did try out.
No, I don't think he did.
He said Lars asked him to join.
He said in this quote that you just pulled up from Loudwire, he said Lars asked me if I wanted to play bass with Metallica.
I believe Hulk.
You think that you would attribute CTE to misremembering that Lars Ulrich asked me to join Metallica?
I think Lars is again regretting the mistake Metallica made.
You think Lars is lying here?
Oh yeah. Since they've just kind of fallen off since then, and I think that they have to recognize it's because the bass is lackluster.
Yeah.
And Hulk would have fixed that.
Yeah, between Napster and throwing Hulk Hogan out of the band, Lars has made a lot of mistakes.
A terrible move.
Yeah.
Soraya, who do you believe?
I think I believe Hulk Hogan. Why would he lie?
Why would he lie?
You're right. You're right. I'm glad you know where your bread's buttered.
Doesn't make sense.
No. So, Troy, you're a music guy. On this one, does it sound like Hogan's probably telling the truth?
I'm going to guess probably not.
Oh, okay. All right. So
and especially like when that was like 87, 86 when Cliff Burton died. Like that's the height of Hulkamania, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
That's why it didn't work out.
86 would have been WrestleMania 2, 87, WrestleMania 3. So, yeah, you're talking about possibly the lead up to Hogan versus Andre.
yeah. So why would you be like, hey, stop doing that and come play bass in Metallica?
Right. I know you're headlining a sold out Pontiac Silverdome with Andre, but would you want to play bass in Metallica?
It might not have been after Cliff Burton died. It might have been after that, like while Jason was in the band. Who knows? It might have been 5, 6, 7, 8 years after that.
Maybe like Jason's getting on our nerves, Hulkster. Would you want to come and join?
Yeah.
When he left, yeah, that's right. So Newstead left. And I think they had Bob Rock filling in on bass for
So
a
you
little
think
bit.
this was like Hollywood Hogan era, like when the NWO was hot? They were like, "Hey, I know you're Hollywood Hogan in the NWO, and you're like in your late 40s at this point. Would you want to just start being a professional metal bassist?"
Yeah, be awesome.
It would be fun. I mean, if Metallica did do that.
If they did that in that era,
Yes.
like just out of nowhere, they were like, "Also, we're cutting all of our hair short. Also, this is our new bassist, Hulk Hogan."
Yeah.
It would have been the greatest move in metal ever.
Because he'd be doing all those Hulk things.
Of course he would.
While James is singing the Four Horsemen, he'd be ripping his shirt off, not playing the bass.
It's my gimmick, brother. I got to do the gimmick.
Got to do it. People
Got to
want
do
it.
the gimmick.
That's what they're here for.
He would upstage pop a head every show trying to rip his shirt off and stuff.
I don't know. That might bother people.
Yeah.
In the middle of Battery. See Hulk Hogan tearing your shirt.
Dude, if when we saw Metallica at the Apollo,
Oh,
if Hulk Hogan was on the bass, that would have ruled.
That would have been sick.
It would have been sick.
how great was Metallica at the Apollo?
They were great,
Incredible.
but I can think of one thing that would have made it even better.
Yeah.
If the Hulkster, if they had a 6'8" giant Hulk Hogan playing bass, that would have been awesome.
Yeah. Well, so anyway, I don't think he's lying. I think they're besmirching his good name, like you said.
You think Hogan probably was asked to be the bassist of Metallica?
I think so.
Okay.
And I think I
You're
heard
pretty smart.
I think I heard at one point that even Les Claypool auditioned to be the bass player of Metallica.
Well,
Yeah, is he lying too, Sam?
No.
Oh, is he already lying?
Les Claypool as a professional musician is probably more believable than Hulk Hogan, the famous 80s wrestler.
Oh, maybe.
You see what I'm saying? Like I could see Les Claypool doing it.
Yeah. Him and Hulk probably both. But Hulk got asked. That's the problem. That's why the Lodge doesn't want to talk about it, because he probably made a lot of these guys who were his friends
Right.
Audition. Like Les Claypool, I'm sure they're friendly. And then all of a sudden Hulk, he's like, fuck, dude, you want the gig? And he's embarrassed that Hulk turned him down.
Maybe that's what it was. Hogan was like, nah, I'm going to go body slam Andre. I'll see you guys later.
Yeah.
And he got humiliated. Let's be honest. Humiliated.
100%.
Yeah.
This is from Woodstock.
This was sick.
Oh, yeah. Primus doing
Primus doing Master of Puppets, yeah. Let's see. Hang on a second.
I like their covers.
I like Winona's Big Brown Beaver. Primus rules.
Yeah, he's great. I'm not even a big fan of the band, but I love watching him play. Yeah, he's
awesome.
very entertaining, Les Claypool.
Yeah, he is.
He seems like a strange bird.
Yeah, but real good at music.
He's playing all the guitar parts on the bass.
I know.
It's insane.
Oh, he doesn't sing it?
No.
Oh. He
That
did
makes sense. I mean, it's tough to...
He did a version of Electric Funeral, which I thought, we'd have to hear it, but I mean, he did Electric Funeral at Bonnaroo years ago. I love his covers.
Yeah. So, Soraya, how's your life? How's everything going? Soraya, you may remember, was our intern for a long time. She was one of the top 3, I would say, interns all time.
I can't think of anyone better.
Some people place her number 1.
Yeah.
That's very sweet. Things have been very well.
And you remember, too, just to bring everybody up to speed,
yes.
one time she went on a road trip with Jim and she stepped in dog shit.
Yes, she did.
Well, I don't know if that's...
Just to bring everyone up to speed.
Yeah, she old
You did
duty
that, right?
shoes, yeah.
That was me. That was my foot.
Beginning of the trip, you had on your shoe excrement.
Just some-
Just want to bring everybody up to speed.
But we did go to Austin.
That's right.
Austin. Oh, you got to go. So you got to see the Comedy Mothership.
Yes, this was my first plane in a while. And what happened was the night, since 2013, when I was 13, and I hadn't been on a plane in a while, so I had to pack my bag with all the camera equipment. But I realized that I didn't want the camera equipment to be a checked bag.
Smart.
I want it to be a carry-on.
You never check your gear.
Right, and have a personal item. Well, what ended up happening is that I only took one suitcase, and it was all camera equipment, but I didn't have any room for clothes. So I just wore whatever I wore for the 5 days.
And I told Sri, you have to do it differently than that. Like, there's got to be a better way.
You just had one outfit for 5 days?
Because I could not fit in the suitcase.
Sorry, that's gross.
I had to, I wanted to value the image, the picture quality.
Yeah, but you're devaluing Jim by walking around stinking.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Austin's a very hot, sweaty place.
It sure is.
And then we didn't think about, because I only put it in a suitcase, then when we had to go places, Jim, you had to carry the suitcase up many stairs.
Well,
That was
I
okay,
mean,
yeah.
Yeah. Why didn't you just check a bag with your clothes?
Again, I have not flown since 2013.
And what was in the personal item?
Oh, that was my laptop bag.
You couldn't. How much camera equipment are we talking?
Well, I like to have back. Well, then I was talking to Cheyenne.
Hot dog.
And Hot Dog. And he was saying that I don't know his system. He's saying he's bringing a backpack with you. What is he doing?
I mean, depends. It really depends on the gig. Sometimes he likes to bring his whole lights and everything because he goes a little nuts. If he's bringing his lights, he's going to check a bag because you can't get those in a carry-on anyway.
Right.
But yeah, I mean,
does he wear the same shirt and pants?
No, he'll pack clothes appropriate, an amount of clothes appropriate to the number of days that we'll be traveling.
Well, I packed it so tightly And
Nice.
then when I went to the TSA line,
Right.
which I didn't have pre-check at this time.
Oh, and the TSA line, especially for equipment, is terrible because you never know. Like I've had a lot of problems with microphones. Always set stuff
Yeah.
off. Batteries a lot of times set stuff off. The
your
wires,
your
the
bag gets
cables.
shot down the other side. They got to check it. Yep.
That's what happened to me. And because it was so tight, so they started to take everything out of it
No.
and re-put it into all new bins. And then once I got it all back, I couldn't close it. It wouldn't close. And I
Right,
was
because
sitting
you-
on it
Yeah.
and pushing it. And I had to put my
In the middle of the airport?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I had to put my headphones, my Denny phones on, and I was carrying all my hard drives in my hand. And then I looked at my ticket. I was at gate 1.
Sure.
It was JFK, a Delta flight. You couldn't have been further. It's like an 8-mile
Gate
walk.
53.
Yeah, that's like when you look up at the sign and it's legit 12-minute walk.
You got to take a flight through the flight. Go ahead.
Yeah.
And I just thought Sam would. I just had this feeling that Sam would love it if I missed this flight.
I mean, I'd be overjoyed. You understand? It would hit the group text quickly because you would probably text hot dog joy. It'd be great.
Yeah, I just pushed the suitcase in front of me and then run after it and then push it and then run after it. And then I made it after a lot of sweat.
You must,
I was
and you only had the one set of clothing that you had already sweated in before you even got to Austin.
Well, that's true. But I did wash it in the sink with some soap.
You wash your clothes in the sink?
Yeah, I didn't know any of this was going on.
I would expect not.
yeah, of course
Things
not.
are a little crazy at my room.
Well, why wouldn't you just like go to a Walmart and buy some clothes when you got there? Right.
Oh. Well,
I didn't even notice. It was the same clothes.
Well, that's not surprising either.
I
That
didn't
you
notice
wouldn't.
it.
well,
No.
Jim, you always wear a black shirt. So
I do.
feel,
Honestly, yeah. So I get it. Like, I don't.
You also have kind of a one track. You have an odd focus about you,
Sometimes.
where you will
yeah.
miss details because you're so tuned into other details.
But I
right?
don't want it to be uncomfortable either.
No,
you
no,
should
no,
You
I-
should have your proper.
I also
clothing.
believe that if you had noticed that she was wearing the same thing over and over again, you would have driven her to a Walmart and just bought her clothes.
Yes,
Yes.
No, I made a mistake, but it was a very fun trip and experience. I enjoyed the flight there and back.
How many times did you wash your clothes in the sink?
Just a few times.
What's a few? 5. You were there for 5 days?
Well, I did it once.
No. 3 days.
3 days.
3 days, yeah. Sorry. No, well, you had 3 shows, but we were there for
I
longer.
did kill Tony after. That's right.
Yes.
Yeah,
5.
yeah, yeah.
So 5.
Yeah.
5 days.
I did it once. It wasn't the most hygienic trip.
What did the
I
water
think-
look like as you were washing your clothes in the
The
sink?
water was it was clear.
Was it?
Yes. When you think I,
don't
have
believe that.
dirt on me?
Yeah, I do.
No, I'm very clean.
No, I mean, I know you are a clean person.
I wash myself.
I'm sure that you do, but just by living life. Like, if I wore this, I'm a clean person too.
Yes.
If I wore this t-shirt every day for 5 days, you know, at day 3, I washed it in the sink, the water would probably start getting a little gray, a little
Sure.
Do you
thick.
shower every day?
I do, sometimes twice a day.
Really?
Sure. But
I
if
sho-
the dirt.
You have to shower every day because,
Of course.
like, even if you don't recognize that you're sweaty, a lot of times, like, I walked home last night from the cellar.
Right.
I just felt like that, like, little sheen on me.
Yep.
And then when that dries and you forget that it's there, it stinks.
Right.
So I made myself shower before bed. Like, it's just, you have to.
Do you shower every day or not?
No.
No.
I
Okay.
guess I just have a different way.
Yeah, you know.
No, I don't want to say now.
No, go ahead.
How
Jim and I.
No, yeah, once a month. No, of course it's all right. Yeah, especially in the summertime, you got it every day because summertime you smell like shit.
Oh, do I?
I did.
Not you. He means the collective you.
Yeah.
Right,
Not
right,
you,
right.
Soraya.
Right, we haven't
the
smelled
collective you.
But I was under the assumption that like
What?
showering every day was very much the standard,
In the summer, it's 2 or 3 times a day.
especially in the city, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Especially if you defecate.
Sure. Well, I have bidets.
In the shower, yeah,
I-
sure.
Well,
Just
yeah.
mash it down with your feet.
That's it. I have bidets installed in all the toilets in the house. So
Sure.
that
For those of us who aren't so lucky to have bidets, it's important to shower every day,
it's
if
quite a
only to
luxury.
clean out your asshole.
sure.
Yeah.
Do
no,
you-
because when at least in Morocco when we used to live there, you have like a hammam. So you scrub. You don't have a shower at home.
do you scrub? I mean, but
Yeah,
you, now
take
you
a-
do have a shower.
You take
at
a
home.
kiss.
Like a Hershey kiss.
No, it's like a mitt, and you scrub your skin.
like a loofah.
That's not
Yeah.
effective.
You don't have a shower? Did you go out with like a bucket and water?
In Morocco?
Yeah.
No, it's like you pay to go to the shower.
But
It's a
now,
group shower.
now,
Yeah.
A group shower.
Yeah.
So there's multiple people in there at once?
yeah,
nice.
everyone's in there.
Naked?
Yeah.
hell yeah, dude.
Is it
That's
bad?
like Woodstock.
Yeah.
No, it's like you go you put your clothes in a locker, then you go in. It's like a steam room, and you can pay to have like someone scrub you.
I would do that.
Is it male and female?
No. There's
Ah.
two separate entries.
Can you get a scrubber who's a different gender? Like, can I get a
No.
lady scrubber?
No, you'd
Oh.
only be able to have a man scrubber.
That's a bummer. I probably,
What if you
I probably
identify-
would shower a lot less.
What if you identify as a they them? Then what do you do?
Yeah, and then you go to Morocco. You say, "What is a woman?"
I don't think Morocco plays that shit.
But once you got to the States and there was indoor,
You're gonna go in this room, or we throw you off that roof.
All
right.
I'll pick this one.
well,
I guess I just do it a little different.
yeah, no, and I think that that's fine. But like, what are we talking in terms of?
Do it a little different.
Yeah, how often?
I don't know, like maybe 2 or 3 times a week.
That's fine. Twice a week.
I
Yeah.
feel like it's not fine
Well,
now.
it's not.
Every
But-
should be every day.
It should be.
It should be
it's not.
every
It should be
Right.
7 times a week. 6 times a week would be like, okay, you know.
I take
I
a day
had-
off once in a
I
while.
had a lazy Saturday.
Sure.
Right? Didn't leave the house much. Oh, I guess I didn't shower today. Better make sure to scrub extra hard tomorrow.
Yeah.
But
Otherwise, the children will wonder why their father smells.
Yeah, because I've had that where I didn't even notice I smelled. Like sometimes I didn't.
Will you be alerted?
Have I been alerted? No, but I'll catch it. Like I'll be walking around all day, and like I'll have walked the night. I'm like, holy fuck! I'm
Or
like,
like
oh my
you smell
god.
your clothes.
Yes,
Yeah.
I've had that a few times. Where I smell my pits or whatever. I'm like, oh my god,
Better jump in now.
because I didn't notice it because it's just on me.
Right.
So you don't notice it, and then all of a sudden I'm like, I get a moment of clarity. It'd be like if you're dancing and you think everybody's clapping along, and then all of a sudden like in Sopranos when Gandolfini sees them all laughing at his joke, and he just knows. Oh, it's because I'm the boss.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yes.
That's how it is
Great
when you
scene.
smell bad. When you just you're fine walking around all day, and all of a sudden you get a moment, you go, "Oh no,
Right.
I have a sheen of stink."
Yeah, I have a stench.
Yeah, every
Yeah.
day.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you could wash your hair 2 to 3 times a week. How often do you wash your hair?
does that mean the water coming on it?
That's
Yes.
not what that means. That's a rinse.
Oh, I mean,
that's a simple rinse. When washing hair, we use shampoo and if we're really feeling it, conditioner.
Even I use shampoo every day, and I
Sure,
have
it's
no
good
hair.
for your scalp.
It's good for the scalp. It's just
Oh.
healthier to do. Yeah.
So, no, not as much of a rinse, but more of a
you.
washing.
Thank you, sir.
More of a washing of the hair. How often do we wash our hair? And by the way, I've never noticed you smelling.
No, we're not asking. I'm asking
And-
because you volunteered this information.
And I'm surprised.
And I wish I didn't.
That's who cares. I'm around Soraya more than anybody, and
And you
Yeah.
would notice. You're sensitive to that.
I probably would.
Yeah.
And you
would've
would
come
tell
in here.
me.
He was the first person that told us one of our old coworkers had a breath problem.
I have a nose. It's
Remember?
so good.
Of course I do.
Yeah.
And once it's pointed out, it's like, oh, Jim was right.
Darn it, he's right again.
Yeah.
Nailed it again, Jim. But I've never, we've taken photos after every show. I've never noticed you stinking. I'll smell today
Okay.
to check. But
I also wash my
Oh no.
yeah, I was like, this is.
Oh no.
No, I was gonna say that I wash my do ablutions
What's ablutions?
5 times a day.
What's in a.
Like,
Is that religious?
Yeah, like to do
like prayers. Prayers. Okay.
But will you wash what? Your face, your
You
hands?
wash your hands, then you sniff your nose, and you wash your mouth and your face and head and your neck and your feet.
The shower's just faster.
Well, that's good. Yeah, you could knock all that out in the shower.
I'm gonna have no time to do anything.
No, that's true. If you're washing your feet 5 times a day for ablution,
A daily shower is very important, I think, and it's also I think a lot in the shower too. I get a lot of thinking done.
Sure,
When I
shower
stand there
thoughts.
under the hot water.
They say shower thoughts.
Yeah, because it's very relaxing to have the warm water pouring over you. And then I really relax there, and my mind, because there's nothing outside to distract me. A lot of times I have the lights very low,
Nice.
and it's just like therapeutic. You just stand there for a few minutes and think. I
Sometimes-
love thinking in the shower.
You know what's not? Sometimes a cold shower can be refreshing, not for like long periods of time, obviously, but it can just be a nice little shock to the system, especially in the summer.
Well, I was talking to Mike Montone, and I did say that next time that he does the polar plunge, I would like to accompany him.
Right. Well, they don't want you contaminating the water.
She just wants to see Montone in beachwear.
Oh, nice.
His stud arms.
You see a trail of grease. The water's turning rainbow behind Soraya.
Don't
She's
say
swimming.
that.
No, I'm just kidding.
But,
You
oh,
wash your feet. It's
I
good.
want to. I want to tell you something else about my computer.
Oh, yes, because now you've gotten, I'm sure, much
good
more
Mac, yeah.
much more tech savvy.
Well-
You've been doing you're working with a lot of footage for comedian Jim Norton.
And she's learning editing. It's crazy how fast. Because Soraya is one of those people, like, she reads the manual. Like, what are you doing?
Well, that's why they are packaged in
100%. And but learns things. It's great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And well, if you remember what happened last time, I accidentally deleted the USB driver.
Yeah, we had a guy calling the show for like 2 weeks after that. One of the worst,
right.
worst callers.
I
of
love
all
that
time.
guy. I hope he's
Aw,
listening.
That's very
Relentless.
helpful.
He just a
He
lunatic.
wouldn't let go.
Yeah.
But he was trying to be helpful.
Well, what happened was I still could not get it to work.
Mm.
So of course, after I did my ablutions, I did pray and say, "Please, God, reinstall the driver." And
Did he?
it was unable to happen. So I turned off the computer. I pressed the power button,
Sure.
and then I turned it on again, and then it was fine.
Okay.
It worked?
Yeah.
Wow.
The
Turn it off
classic.
and on.
But you see why I didn't want to turn it off and on, because I
Not
was worried.
really.
I was worried it would lock me out of my password.
God answers prayers.
Yeah,
Maybe
no,
that
but
was- could've been
and God is
Could've been
oddly
God.
selective. I mean, during World War II, in concentration camps, there was a lot of prayers being thrown up that were ignored. Then the Soraya pops in and goes, "This damn driver," and God's like, "I'm on it."
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Who
Very
knew
strange
that?
priorities?
That is as powerful and all knowing as God is, that He would take the time out of His day to say, "Did you try to plug and unplug? Have you turned it on and off?" Oh no, I haven't. Thank you, Lord.
Well, all my files are back in order. And well, speaking of
Have
hot
you
dog,
turned it on and off?
that he did text me that he found my blazer as well that I did leave at the house party
Which?
for
A jacket?
4th of July. My reporting blazer.
Oh, I didn't know that was missing.
Yeah, I left it at the party.
Which party?
The house party that he took me to.
Oh, when you learned how to go to a house party.
Yes,
I remember
this
that.
was about drinking for St. Patrick's Day.
That's right. I remember that. Yes.
And I interviewed people about during St. Patrick's Day, which was on my computer, the audio, and we asked who is hotter, Jim or Sam?
Oh, that's it.
God,
Bummer of a
I'm
question.
almost embarrassed for you.
I mean, I would
Sam,
imagine.
I mean.
I would imagine there was a lot of revulsion in general.
I know,
Like,
really.
What are
isn't it?
you?
That's a tough question.
What are you asking?
Would you rather eat dog shit or vomit?
Well, I guess consistency wise.
Well, you'll be happy to know that, Sam, they did say that you were a DILF.
DIL. Oh, nice.
Oh, douche, I'd like to forget.
Okay, I don't know. That was very quick. You got all the letters very quickly.
And this was with your old hair.
Really?
Yeah, it was the old picture.
Where was this house party? 145th Street?
No, is it a school for the blind? Wow. Well, that's
It's very hurtful.
no, I get that.
I'm very hurt.
It makes sense.
We're all beautiful in our own way.
Thank
That's
you,
true.
sir. Very
That's
kind.
true. That's true.
Very hurtful information.
Wish I hadn't brought that up, quite frankly. Well, that's good. And
How's the dating? I literally,
oh,
whenever
that's
I talk.
right. Last time we talked to you, you had been on the dating
Yes.
apps, and you went on
Oh.
one date,
Yeah.
and I guess I didn't realize, because you said you ruined your first love, because
Yeah.
you said you were potentially in love,
Yeah.
but you ruined it because you slept in and then
Yeah.
you hadn't showered, you said. Except that's very typical for you.
No.
I didn't realize how normal that
I
was.
learned more about Soraya on the radio show than I do from knowing her in real life.
Right. Well, I guess conversations like this, although on a road trip, I would probably just sit there asking Soraya questions about her life.
I guess you could do that. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I do for hot dogs. Sometimes I'll just go, what's your take on this? And then I will, like when we drove to Detroit, like I'll just argue with hot dog for sport, just to pass the time.
Sure.
Right. But yeah, so you ruined your first love, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Unless romance resparked there? Was it rekindled at all? Or
No, I kind of messed that up. And I also felt bad because I have a huge rule to myself of never lie. And I lied. I felt bad about that.
I'm sorry to hear that.
But that's okay.
Everybody's fine for one mulligan though.
Sure.
Yeah.
You panicked. In the moment, you panicked.
Yeah, I panicked and I did have a bit of a freak out, but that's okay.
And you just told us how seldom you shower, so I feel like that truth has made up for any lie.
Yeah,
You're very
absolutely.
honest here.
I think it's important to be vulnerable.
I think that's good.
Well, actually, now I'm just keeping to myself and my
Oh.
studies.
What studies?
Okay, I'm just keeping it myself. But I was going to attend an event that was held by, it was a matchmaking event, but then I decided not to go.
Like a speed dating thing?
Yeah,
Nice.
but it was for like an arranged marriage.
Okay, well, no, I don't think it's time to do an arranged marriage.
Well,
I
what's
think-
wrong with that?
Well, I just feel like you should probably experience the joys of freedom,
Yeah.
finding partners. You know, heartache is part of the game. It makes you a better person. It's terrible at the time, but honestly, like it's the best thing that can happen to you sometimes. You get over it, you move on to the next person. It's a fun game once you get into it. You know what I mean? Once you really start playing it.
Plus, an arranged marriage, like all of a sudden you're with somebody who you might not like. What if you don't like their smell? Or what if you don't like their facial hair? What if you don't, whatever it is, what if you don't like that person and then you're just stuck with them and you're like, oh God, this is my life.
What if you don't end up with a hot dilf like some of the
like
people
Sam
that you
Robert?
know?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, Sam's wife got extremely lucky.
Yeah, she really, things panned out for her very well.
I guess that's the risk you take.
Yeah, it's a gamble.
Because you never know either way. You just have to learn to grow old with someone. I'm sure
Well,
that.
no, but you get to know a person. You at
Sure.
least, I mean, it's far more to say that dating somebody for a considerable amount of time and then deciding to marry them is just as risky as an arranged marriage. I think is a gross overstatement.
Yeah, they're different things.
Oh, you think love has to be involved?
It should. I think it's helpful when it is.
But it's a religious thing, though, right?
Well, I just think it's more formal this way.
And you like formalities.
Yeah, but I decided not to go
Good for you.
because I wasn't sure, and I never would want to waste anybody's time.
Yeah, do you think you're ready for marriage?
I don't know. I think I might be a little young,
Yeah.
and I'm not really sure how to cook.
Oof. You can't be in an arranged marriage and not know how to
Yeah.
cook.
Who does the arranging?
That's a great question.
Yeah, that's a great question. Who does
Because
that?
I think it's your parents, like the
Parents meet another set of parents.
and they go, okay, get together. But if you're
Yeah.
going to an event that's an arranged marriage, what does that entail?
Well, my dad is overseas, so he's not available.
Okay, so who does the arranging?
He actually works in the hammam,
Okay.
in the shower.
Is he a scrubber?
No, he's the cashier.
Oh.
Okay. That's right. It's a better gig, by the way, than the scrubber.
Yeah.
Because you don't know how much dirt is on a person.
Right. And also, like,
You have to get under the sack.
if I came in here and I
I
was
don't
like,
know if they're that.
Well, they
involved.
have to be. It's a
they should.
shower.
I mean, it's your job.
Yeah,
Have a little
exactly.
pride. You don't want to know that your dad has scrubbed me down, for example. It
No.
changes the
Specifically
dynamic.
you.
Right?
No, not at all.
Right? You don't want to know that.
You eat a lot of greasy food. It's probably a mess back there.
Oh,
and
it's
especially
awful.
if I know
Yeah.
I'm paying for someone else to do it.
You're like, get in there good.
It's like when you know I'm getting a haircut in a week, you're not touching yourself. Like the barber's gonna fix up my beard and everything. Same thing. If you're getting a scrub down in a week,
Yeah.
You stop wiping like
oh,
3 days before.
absolutely.
One sheet done.
Yeah, it was so nice to see your father's mustache.
Yeah, and
Very
you got to
thick.
see it. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a very healthy. Mr. Roberts has a great energy.
he does. People loved him.
Yeah,
I
very
was
fun energy.
very happy with his reception. His performance was very good too. He just jumped right in.
Sure he did.
Yeah, he was
He's
great.
comfortable.
He was great. Who arranges?
Well, maybe arrange is the wrong word, but not involving dating.
But it was like a speed dating thing. But it's like, hey, we're a bunch of dudes showing up to meet wives, and
Yeah, you put in your information and they'll match it up for you.
oh, but it's not dating. Like to be like, this is the person you're probably gonna marry.
Yeah.
You meet the person and then do you talk to them or is it like, oh, this is the one you're
No,
marrying?
you talk to them for a bit.
And do you get to decide, like, I don't like this
Yeah,
one?
you can decide.
Oh, okay.
But still, the expectation is so high to be like,
Sure.
well, it's if you say if I don't like them upon first meeting,
Yeah.
we don't have to do anything. But if I do like them upon first meeting, the expectation is we're getting married is a huge leap.
Oh, okay.
You see,
And everyone bullshits at first. Like
That's right.
whenever you meet somebody, even if it's not a lie, it's the lie of great behavior.
Right.
It's the lie of, oh yes, I would love to. Oh my God, that's interesting.
You act as your own representative.
Yes, you're kind of your own agent.
Yes.
And then after a while, you walk out, you messy. Like we become more ourselves in time, and that's when you know who you're getting. After a while, it's
What if they
just normal.
stink up the bathroom? You would never know that upon first meeting.
Absolutely, I'd never have a partner if that was a problem. 'Cause I'm a disaster area creator.
That's right. That's right. If it doesn't bother you, it doesn't bother you. But if it does,
And you saw how weird that first one went. Can you imagine if you were?
Oh, yeah.
Imagine if that was a marriage, and it was just one of those things where you were stuck with that person, or they you'd be like, "What the fuck are we doing?"
yeah.
I guess that's true.
Yeah, you want to get out, meet some nice people, get your best options, find a guy who has a good job, maybe.
I won't submit the Google form.
Don't submit
No, I
the Google form.
Okay.
And when you date different people, you learn different things. So when you finally settle down with somebody, you've learned something from this person, something
And
from this
tricks,
person.
right?
Yeah, and how to deal with situations.
Tricks?
what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
What tricks?
Tricks in just handling a relationship.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I meant
Sure.
physical tricks.
Oh, well,
You know what I'm saying too, right?
what, like flipping tricks?
Yeah, like you don't have to sleep with people.
And
You
by the
can
way,
just-
if that's the case, Troy is one of the great experts of our time because, Soraya, I have got to tell you that before he was in the relationship that he was in,
Yeah.
what a history he had.
yeah,
What a history. Am I right?
No, you're right.
He was known as quite the cocksman.
Oh, nice.
Yes, yes. He had,
I'll have to consult you.
yes, he had a very, very significant dating history
Yes,
and
he did.
a line of ladies behind him.
Cavalcade.
Yeah, it was. It was. He was once described as having a harem.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true, right?
That sounds very like a very exciting lifestyle.
It was. It
But how,
was.
you're 23?
I am 23.
The person I am now is completely different than the person I was at 23. So I couldn't imagine being with the person
Not good at 23.
at 23.
Not good at
So
23.
you should-
Okay.
I would probably recommend, look, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but date a couple people, learn how to have a relationship with this person. This doesn't work out, have a relationship with a different person.
Or
Yeah.
at least take advantage of your youth and go like, even if it's working out, you can stay in a relationship for a long time before you have to get married. Me and my wife now dated for years before we were married because we were in our 20s. Like, there's no reason to rush into anything.
it's like you know how you learned when we went on the trip. How, this is how I'm going to pack from now on. You
Yeah.
learned it because you screwed it up, and okay, I'll do it this way is better.
And the fact
Imagine if
that-
that was a spouse,
Oh.
and that was your first thing, and now imagine if now you had to travel that way every time. If you were able to decide your travel on one option, and from now on that's how you had to travel, you'd be like, why the fuck did I?
I mean, you don't even know the basics. Imagine like years into traveling, you showed up somewhere and go, the only thing I hate about traveling is no matter how long you go, you just have the one outfit.
Yeah, you have to wash it in the sink.
People will be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
It would be bad, but you've learned, like Troy said, you've learned from your experience, other people who travel a lot of times will bring multiple sets of clothes.
Right.
Correct.
That will take them through the week.
And yeah, move
Yeah.
the drawstring on your pants to the side. Don't put your glasses in the front of your shirt.
Little things you learn.
Yes.
Right.
You have the passport ready.
Why the drawstring on the side?
I don't know. I had the drawstring in my pants in the front.
You wearing sweatpants?
I was wearing like kind of, yeah. And then they said it needs to be moved to the side. It affects the scan.
I don't know. We got TSA pre-check, so
Yeah,
I
they-
go through a metal detector.
You got pre-checked now.
Yes.
Good. Did you get clear?
Yeah, I'm gonna get that as well.
Yeah, all airports don't have that.
No.
Yeah,
No. Some do.
some.
Yeah.
At least they didn't pat me down because I had a lot of cables and wires. It could look suspicious.
Yeah, on sometimes, but I gotta
I've
stop
had
and
that.
sleep with my apnea machine.
Yeah, I've had that when I because I always travel with like audio stuff and video stuff.
They always
and
say look at
they
it.
always look at, and it's
They
annoying
patted
because
you
you do. Well, sometimes I get patted down, but then I go like, oh, this is one of those people at hot dogs party. I think they're just doing this because they saw a dilf walking through. yeah, no, but it's I've been there where it's a huge pain where like you've packed everything perfectly. And then like, no, we got to see what this wire's plugged into, and you're like, oh my god, this is
It's
gonna be
very
This
annoying.
is gonna be such a thing now.
Or when you have a suitcase that closes and they have to open it, and you're worried the equipment's gonna fall out because it's open on the one side and there's only one cup. It's like, just please open it carefully. I had that recently. It's a fucking nightmare.
Why don't you look into like the dating field of the people who do similar things that you do professionally, like Homeless Pimp has all these soldiers now, the video comedians. You could talk to these other dudes who like video other comedians, and you have something in common.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have to think about that.
Yeah, then you and your new partner could just complain about the people you're filming. Is he still doing the same shit? Yes, the same fucking shit every night. I hate it.
You know, that's what it would
Of
devolve
course,
to.
it would devolve into
instantly.
that immediately.
Yeah,
You guys always have good advice for me. You guys feel like my brothers.
that's right.
Soraya's so nice, though, she probably would say it politely. He doesn't seem to change ideas often.
Yeah. I've learned that a comedian will use the same joke for a very long
Yes,
time.
even if it's not getting the response he wants.
Oh, and I have something else to tell you. Oh, if you have time.
We have
do.
all the time in the world.
Well, also for Trauma, the horror
Love
movie.
Trauma.
Did I tell you about what did I tell you again? That I had the one part
That's
in the
right.
bar,
It was messy, yeah.
Yes.
and then I had the other role.
I don't remember if you told us you had a second role.
Well,
Did
there's
you?
a secret second role, and I can play you audio from it if you would like.
Sure.
I would love that.
I guess I can just play it on my phone.
Sure, just put your phone up to the mic. I think that would be fine. Is there any sort of setup, or you want us to hear the
Is it
audio
self-explanatory?
and then we'll ask questions?
I guess you could hear the audio and then ask questions,
Mm.
but maybe if you could just decide what you think is happening to me.
Okay.
Oh God!
Let's see if we can.
And
hear
it's
it.
trauma.
Wait, did we do
so-
this already or no?
Did you hear this before?
I don't know. It's familiar.
I don't. I think she talked about doing trauma on the show, but I don't think we played audio.
And I don't think we heard about a second role.
No.
did we? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, the first time was when I was in the bar.
Right. I remember it.
Okay.
Yeah. Is that you?
Okay, what do you think happened?
Is that you screaming?
That is me.
That's
You
a
have a
hell
great.
of a scream.
It's a great horror
It's a
movie
great horror.
scream.
What happened? I think you were at that dating thing and Hot Dog's picture came up.
It's a pretty good guess. What was happening there?
Well, you'll have to see.
Oh,
That's a good tease.
Yeah.
Let's just say it involved a lot of blood. And I didn't know if I would be able to scream because, well, on the day of the shoot, I didn't know I was going to do that.
Sure.
And they said, okay, everyone be silent. Just you scream. And I was like, I don't really scream. So, but I just did it from the gut. I had a trick.
What was the trick?
I was wearing something kind of tight around my neck.
Mm.
So I pushed into it and then hold your breath so your face gets really red and then scream from your, not like, from your head,
Right.
but scream from your stomach.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I would imagine with your level of commitment to everything else that you do, it's probably a very scary thing to see.
I think it might have scared them because I was very quiet up until that point.
Sure.
And then I couldn't hear the director say cut, so I just kept going. And then,
What happened? We're all at lunch. She's still screaming in the other room.
and then he was like, cut. And I was like, oh, sorry. I didn't know if you wanted me to stop. I couldn't hear.
Yeah.
And also, I don't want to say, but my eyes were somehow covered, so I couldn't see either.
Oh, boy.
Can we hear that again now that we know what that is?
Oh, yes, of course. This, I feel like I got out maybe some anger that I didn't know that I had.
There you go.
All right, I'll play
You
it
got
again.
something out. I watch a lot
I
of
said
horror
that to
movies.
Travis.
That's a great scream.
Yeah, I watch a lot of horror movies. That ranks up there.
Yeah, and believe me, Travis has heard that from a woman before.
I said, Travis, look what came out.
Is there a video or is it
That's
only
what his
audio?
mom said.
There's some video, but you can't really. It's not really discernible as to what happened.
Oh, okay.
But I think it's going to come out in October, and that's with Ian Fidance and Zach Amico as well.
Ah,
Ian
that's
Finance
nice.
is in the film?
Yes,
That's exciting. You can't talk about what the name of the film is?
Bring on the Damned, Volume 1.
I love that they prep for sequels immediately.
Sure they do. Volume 1. They already know.
Like the return to Class of Nukem High, the sequel, part 1. I don't remember what it was, but it was great. Very wordy.
Yeah. Long title.
But just wanted to share that with you.
Yeah, it was great. That's a
Oh,
good
yeah.
scream.
Thank you.
Bring on the Damned Volume 1 official Kickstarter campaign. I think it's going to be great. I can't wait to watch.
No, I'll go.
And I'm such a fan of Troma anyway.
I'd like to go to the premiere of that.
The premiere?
Is there going to be a premiere?
I don't know, maybe.
We can put one on.
Sure. Let's see where you're listed here.
And then I couldn't talk for a day after.
It hurt your throat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done that before. It hurts.
Ian Fidance has top billing under Lloyd Kaufman. This is big for Ian Fidance.
I think it
Although
just
I
says
don't know
bar
if I-
patron.
I don't know if I could watch a movie where Ian
There
Fidance
I
is in
am.
like the whole movie. Look at that.
Yeah, I couldn't watch.
It's a lot of Ian.
It's a lot of Ian. Although I do enjoy
I like Ian.
I like it says Soraya actress.
Well,
Such.
that's what you were doing, right?
This is my debut. I think after this, though, I think it's over.
Why?
You don't want to act more?
No, I think I just needed to get that scream out. I'm not really sure what that was about, but I think I need to get that out.
Were you mad when you did it?
I did try to think of everything that upsets me.
What was one thing you thought about?
That upsets you.
Just things from the past. And just let it out. So it felt good. But then, yeah, it felt good, but then I couldn't really speak after. But it was worth it.
So yeah, you got to leave it on the page.
Do you scream?
Do I scream? No, not
Ever?
traditionally. No,
Oh.
I can't think about the last time that I screamed. I don't know what would make me scream, just emote like that. I mean, I might raise my voice to, give an air of seriousness, but
Like what?
I can't imagine screaming. Hey, you get your damn hands off of her. Something serious like that.
Yeah. Ooh, man.
Yeah.
Very scary.
Right, exactly. When I want to convey that I mean business.
Yeah, real alpha.
Right, exactly.
Very alpha.
Yeah.
Should we take a break?
God, it's
I see you
9:25.
standing,
Yeah. I do have to tinkle a little bit. Yeah, I didn't know it was that late.
Well, Soraya is hanging out. We got we got a guest coming in later. We got a lot to do today.
Yes.
Actually, later on, maybe right around 11, over on the Not Sam Wrestling YouTube channel, Ian Lara wanted to have a conversation about wrestling. So, special comedians edition of Not Sam Wrestling, where me and Ian are sitting down talking about the good old days, will be up on the Not Sam Wrestling YouTube channel later this morning.
And September 28th, I'm heading to Toronto to do one show for Just for Laughs. Very much looking forward to that.
Oh, one and done, baby.
One and done.
In and out.
I have more dates being added soon.
We'll be right back. Stay there.
Jim and Sam will be back. Jim and Sam will be back. Jim and Sam will be back. Jim and Sam will be back after this.
When you need a laugh, SiriusXM is your home for great stand-up comedy with exclusive channels from Kevin Hart. It's about to go down. Comedy Central, Jeff Foxworthy and Larry the Cable Guy. Internet! And Netflix is a joke.
Hey, it's Tom Papa. Catch me on Netflix as a joke.
And SiriusXM's own comedy greats, Raw Dog Comedy, and clean comedy for everyone on Laugh USA.
This feels right.
SiriusXM Comedy, channels 93 to 99 on your SiriusXM radio, online, and on the SXM app.
5 albums.
What a man gotta do.
One night.
Oh, it's on.
The Jonas Brothers.
I'm Joe. I'm Kevin.
And I'm Nick. Captured live at Yankee Stadium with another Sirius XM exclusive from their sold-out concert.
Hear it now for a limited time on the SXM app. Included in all trials and popular plans. Search Jonas.
Let's face it, talking about life insurance is never easy. But after we watched a close friend lose her husband with no insurance, we decided that wasn't going to happen to our family.
Yeah, but shopping for life insurance can be almost as difficult as talking about it.
But then we heard about Ethos Life Insurance. They're a new kind of life insurance, built for people on a busy schedule who don't have time for unnecessary doctor's visits, fine print, or hidden fees. You know, who want to keep it simple.
I couldn't believe how easy it was. We answered a few basic questions, and within minutes, we had an estimate of what it would cost and what sort of policy made sense for us.
I never imagined life insurance could be so affordable.
And accessible.
The peace of mind knowing that our future is secure, it just removes a lot of the fear around getting older. And
Yeah, the unexpected.
I'm glad we talked about it.
I'm glad we went with ethoslife.com.
Go to startethos.com now for your free estimate. That's startethos.com. Startethos.com.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Sometimes those thoughts get the best of us. They're racing through our minds. You ever find that just as you're trying to fall asleep, your brain keeps talking to you? Your thoughts start racing right before bed or other inopportune moments? It turns out one great way to make those racing thoughts go away is to talk through them, the actual problems behind them. Therapy gives you a place to do that. So you can get out of your negative thought cycles and find some mental and emotional peace. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Get a break from your thoughts with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/Teft today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/TEFFT.
With today's economic challenges, it's tough to keep a small business going and growing. Low credit scores, high interest rates, and lengthy application and approval processes can cause delays. Getting the cash you need when you need it fast is nearly impossible. Until now. Welcome to Swish Funding, the small business owner's friend that can put the cash back into your flow within 24 hours. How does $10,000 to $500,000 in one day sound? If you've been in business for 1 year or more with an annual income of at least $100,000, you can get the affordable funding you need in your account today with no collateral. Even a low credit score won't keep you from the money you need. With Swish Funding, it's really that easy. Expanding, buying more equipment, hiring more employees? We've got you covered. Adding more inventory, slow cash flow, or even a last-minute large purchase for your company? No problem. Let our team get to work for you to keep your business going and growing through these tough economic times. Visit swishfunding.com now. That's SWISH funding.com.
Racing through our minds. You ever find that just as you're trying to fall asleep, your brain keeps talking to you? Your thoughts start racing right before bed or other inopportune moments, it turns out one great way to make those racing thoughts go away is to talk through them, the actual problems behind them. Therapy gives you a place to do that. So you can get out of your negative thought cycles and find some mental and emotional peace. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Get a break from your thoughts with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/Teft today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/TEFFT.
Free diamonds! Free diamonds! You heard me? Hi, I'm Steven Singer. Yep, the I Hate Steven Singer guy. I don't mind that other jewelers hate me. In fact, I kind of like it. And I think I found a way to really drive other jewelers nuts. Starting right now, I'm giving away free diamonds. Yep, free diamonds. I believe you should only buy real diamonds from a real jeweler. So I will never sell you a lab-grown diamond, but I would give one away because that's what I think it's worth. Buy any real Earthborn diamond engagement ring, and I'll give you a 1-carat lab-grown diamond for free. Free! Maybe I'm crazy, but I think if your love is real, why would you buy a lab-grown diamond? Our Earthborn real diamonds are always worth what you paid. In the future, your lab-grown diamond will be worthless. Exactly what you paid for it. Nothing. Stop in and buy a real Earthborn diamond from a real jeweler, and I'll throw in a lab-grown diamond for free. Steven Singer Jewelers, the other corner of 8th and Walnut in Philly, or at IHateStevenSinger.com.
Limited quantities, purchase required.
Every day, you breathe in thousands of microscopic germs, allergens, and viruses. Don't let these invisible invaders make breathing through your nose impossible. Flush them out with Navage. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril around the back of the nose and out the other nostril, helping flush out all the nasty things that make you miserable. Nearly 4 million people use Navage to breathe better, snore less, and feel healthier. People like Cindy, a verified Navage user who writes, "I've had such awful nasal congestion for the last couple years. I bought Navage and OMG, I can breathe again. I love this thing. Goodbye, Neti Pot. Hello, Navage." End quote. If you suffer from sinus congestion, allergies, or snoring, then Navage is the safe, drug-free solution you've been looking for. Navage is at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, and Navage.com. Navage. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
And now, story time with Ian Fidance.
'Twas 4 a.m. and the bars were closed. The only option to keep drinking and doing cocaine with strangers was the after-hour spot in Koreatown. So up the stairs I went into a dimly lit pool hall that only served warm beer. After about an hour and a half of drinking floaters to save money, I went to the bathroom to snort a Herculean rail of gack. But before I could set up my toilet mirror, word got out that the police were raiding the after-hours spot. Thank goodness I was already in the bathroom, so I did what any sane person would do. I put the vial of Coke in a condom and shoved it up my ass. Now, when shoving a condom full of drugs up your ass, it's important to remember the cardinal rule. What goes in must come out. That's why you always leave the opening outside your bunghole so you can grab and pull it out later. After a quick search and pat down, I found myself outside on the Manhattan streets. I threw a cigarette in my mouth and saw a young lady standing next to me. This lady was like no other lady, for she was a hooker. And I knew she was a hooker from her hooker smell and hooker clothes. She asked for a smoke and I said sure, but only if she got drunk with me in the deli. Once inside, I drank a 40 and asked if she wanted to do cocaine. Her hooker eyes popped out of her hooker head and she yelled, "Pull it out!" I was way ahead of her, of course, because while we were talking, I was working on pulling it out of my ass by undoing my pants. I undid my pants with one hand so that ripping a balloon full of cocaine out of my butt would be an easier task than with my pesky belt intact. Plus, I could make it look like it was in my back pocket and not, inside of my ass. She told me she knew she liked me, which made me think she wanted to fuck. But hindsight tells me she just wanted cocaine. She got us more beers, and I got more paranoid she was going to rip me off. And in an odd turn of events, she too was paranoid, and then also angry that I kept bringing it up, which is why we came up with her plan. Whenever we go to the bathroom, we leave our cell phone and wallet on the table as collateral. Well, this made sense to me, as Amanda, the hooker of whom I just met, seemed trustworthy. And guess what? She was. This system worked until it didn't. And before I knew it, I was waking up, pants at my ankles, sitting on a toilet with a pounding on the door and a man yelling in Korean, which made sense since I was still inside of a Korean deli. My things were gone, so I screamed at them for stealing my things and being in cahoots with Amanda, the hooker who robbed me. I took a cab home and argued with the driver about payment. Not learning my lesson from before, I left my shoes in the cab as collateral and went inside the apartment to borrow money from my roommate. This cab driver did not steal my shoes. Knowing she was a Backpage hooker, I later found her on Backpage, calling her from a payphone. I asked her to come to Brooklyn, and she agreed. But before we hung up, I yelled, "Amanda, it's Ian. Did you take my cell phone and wallet?" Pausing, she replied, "Honey, you was so fucked up, I thought you died in the bathroom, so I up and left." Well, the moral of the story, never go to a Korean deli.
That was Story Time with Ian Fidance.
You know, celebrities may be able to spoil their dogs with expensive, luxurious possessions, but you can spoil your dog with a luxury dog bed that they actually enjoy. The stories of wealthy people spoiling their dogs are legendary. One socialite who has the same name as a famous hotel chain spent $325,000 on a palatial doghouse for her lucky pups. The two-story Spanish colonial features a second-floor balcony with a stunning view of Los Angeles. But as lavish and extravagant as that doggy palace is, there's one luxury that her dogs would appreciate more than the wrought iron staircase and matching chandelier. A Sattva luxury dog bed. Not your typical slabs of foam covered in polyester. These are true inner spring beds that offer unparalleled back support and proper spinal alignment for all size dogs. Their responsive nano coils make it easier for even the oldest dogs to get up out of the bed. And best of all, you don't have to be a celebrity heir or heiress to afford one. To get the bed your dog deserves, go to saatva.com/woof. That's SAATVA.com/woof.
Channel 103. Faction Talk.
Is there anything better than a good deal or a great price? No. Free. Well, actually, you know what? Free is better. I stand corrected. Free is better. I'm wrong. I should have read the copy. I have the inside skinny on how to get a free 1-carat lab-grown diamond. Our good friend Steven Singer over at Steven Singer Jewelers. Yeah, he's the I Hate Steven Singer guy. He's giving other jewelers in America another reason to really wish him dead. For a limited time, Steven is giving away a free 1-carat lab-grown diamond. Now, you heard me. I didn't missay that. Free lab-grown diamond with any purchase of a real, natural, earthborn diamond engagement ring online or in his beautiful showroom down there in Philly. Everyone knows as production and supply ramp up on man-made diamonds, value plummets. How could any other jeweler look someone in the eye and sell this shit for $1,000 or $6,000? Steven has never sold and never would sell something he believes has no value, no sentiment, no sign of your love. So just to prove it, he's going to give a lab-grown diamond away for free. Our listeners are just too smart to fall for paying for something that you can get free from our pal, Steven Singer. Go now to IHateStevenSinger.com for details. IHateStevenSinger.com.
How do you do this radio show?
We aren't even sure how people listen to it. Anyway, Jim and Sam are back.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire. Ooh.
Welcome back. Jim Norton and Sam Roberts.
You know what make this sound better?
What's that?
Hulk Hogan on bass.
I was just thinking that. Troy, are you excited? Are you going to go back to the movie theaters soon?
What's playing?
Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I'll go see that.
Setting.
What's she doing?
Setting records. I mean, she was just like, I need to set some more records. So AMC announced that they were going to bring the Eras Tour to movie theaters. They're going to do a concert film of the Eras Tour, but they're going to run it in all the AMCs. And they put tickets up, and they're going to do like $100 million. Theater owners predict record $100 million opening for the Eras Tour concert pick. So yeah, it'll be one of those, like, I don't know if it's going to have a full theatrical run, but at this point I wouldn't be surprised. Why not just leave it in, right?
She could do whatever she wants.
Exactly.
All the Swifties together singing along. I'm there.
Oh, you Swifties.
That's right.
That's right.
You're going to go to it?
Yeah, I think so. I'll go.
I mean, dude, they're doing exclusive popcorn buckets.
Oh.
I don't know if you saw that, but yeah. Because, I mean, Taylor Swift makes a mint off merch at these shows. So I'm sure the movie theaters are like, how do we get in on this? And then I saw they're doing like Taylor Swift Eras Tour popcorn buckets and souvenir cups and everything. It's a whole thing.
Think people will save them?
Forever. Or, see, look at
Oh,
those.
look at that. That is cool.
Would you love to? That is cool, Troy said. Only in theaters. Okay, it says starting October 13th, which leads me to believe that the Eras Tour concert film will probably stick around for a while. You know what? Here's what they're going to do. They're going to run it through October. They're going to take it out of theaters. They're going to bring it back for the holiday season.
Ooh. What if it just stays through from now to the holiday?
Oh, if they just left it in all October, they were like, let's run it until Thanksgiving, and then it was still hot, so they said, let's keep it going into the new year.
I could see that happening.
Or they pull it. Yeah, I think they pull it.
I feel like they pull it to create scarcity. And then you get, hey, guys, good. I mean, it's like old school movie theater marketing. Good news, everybody. One last chance to see the Taylor Swift Eras Tour the way it was meant to be seen in the movie theater. $100 million in his first weekend.
She's just
You know how many movie
incredible.
studios are trying to figure out?
Yep.
They can't even make that in superhero movies half the time anymore.
She's popular.
I mean, that's a really kind of a dangerous take. So I don't know if you want to put that on the record like that. But
Yeah, and they should have if they're smart, they should have a holiday bucket and holiday cup.
That's
to
the
get people
move.
to come back.
You bring the movie back, except this time there's a new bucket and cup.
A new cup, new merch.
Yeah. And then it's like, so that way, if the Troys of the world have a Taylor Swift bucket and cup in their kitchen, they're like, but there's a new one.
Right.
You can't have the old one. You got, there's a mini poster involved? Is there a mini poster element? Do you mean to tell me there's a mini poster element to this concert film? Free mini poster. Buy tickets to their Eras Tour concert film and take home a piece of music history. I love music history.
How much are tickets?
I would imagine
Just
movie prices, right?
$17 or something.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Well, if you're getting stuff with it.
Oh, true.
Well, you get a mini poster. You don't get the bucket and the. You got to go and buy popcorn. It's just,
Right.
It's just a mini poster. I can't imagine it's more than.
Let's see here.
Are they doing it in IMAX? Looks like it. Yeah, IMAX. Almost full. So you can get it.
Still get in.
You can still get in. Troy, you better not sleep on this, dude.
No, I'm not gonna. I will do it.
You will?
Yeah. Oh man, it's only like up front.
Yeah.
What shit seats are left?
Yeah.
Front row.
Garbage. I can't see where the ticket price is though.
Probably when you click on the front row. If you click on one of those seats, I bet it'll tell you. Jeez. A12?
Yeah, it's.
A12 down?
I'm not good at this.
Nah. I mean,
I'm gonna give up.
that's a pretty wide-ranging statement that you just made.
I've said that while I was fucking.
Laser at AMC.
Do you know what that means?
No.
No.
Do you?
No. But I see that it says the word laser.
I mean, it must be maybe better quality screening.
I hope it's not worse. Imagine if they were like, it's like normal movies, but the quality's not nearly as good.
Check one of the ones that doesn't say almost full.
Okay, here we go.
There aren't any.
There we go.
Yeah, there are. There's still very few seats.
And then what? Now what? So I click the seat. Now what?
Yeah.
What do you do? You've done this, Sam, right?
Check out.
Check out. Where do I go check out?
Oh my gosh, I'm looking right now on my phone because, I've given up on Troy.
Yeah, I understand.
And yeah, they are. Okay, yeah. Whoa, no, it is. At least this one, it's $28 for an adult ticket.
All right.
$30. All right, he says.
I mean, whatever. It's for Taylor.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's an IMAX. That's an IMAX. Okay, so that might actually be standard price. IMAX in the city, $30 might be how much it costs. So in standard, it costs... No, it's $30. It's $30 to go see this.
Well, you get your mini poster in the bucket.
No, you don't get the bucket.
The bucket's extra?
The bucket you have to buy you have to go buy popcorn.
All right,
and
fine, I'll do that.
Still worth it.
Yeah, and the mini poster, you know how good that's going to look in my new apartment?
It's a piece of music history.
It is.
And I wonder, you know what the move would be, dude?
What?
Buy tickets for you and your lady, but buy them separately. See if you can get 2 mini posters out of the deal.
Great
right?
idea.
If
You
do
probably
it-
get one ticket for each movie. You probably get a poster for each one.
I bet they're trying to do poster per order.
No, I think per ticket.
I doubt it.
Of course, because if two friends go together,
Then they got to split the poster.
yeah, no, they I guarantee you it's one poster per.
I mean, not
ticket.
everybody is as big a poster collector as you. You
Yeah,
gotta
but a
keep that
ticket.
in mind.
Yeah, but the Swifties they're going to die for these posters.
You think would you die for one of those
I
posters?
would. I mean, look how good it looks.
It looks so
That's great.
You know, what'd be great.
It's a mini poster.
If the poster of Taylor was her on stage like that, and for no reason at all, I was in it and just talking to her, my arms out.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking the exact same thing.
Just
It'd
how
be great.
annoyed people would be.
Look at that. It says supplies are ample, but they will go fast. Wow. And then what's that? It says the price on the popcorn bucket.
Okay.
$15 for a large popcorn, $12 for a large cup. But you also, I mean, that's
12. Yes.
but that's kind of how much.
I feel like, yeah, that's regular
That's
price.
kind of how much a large drink and a large popcorn would be at the theater.
$12 for a drink? Is it
for a
really that
large.
much? Wow.
Yeah, it's close.
Dude,
It might
it
be
is,
like
man.
8 or 9. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, for one person to go with popcorn, soda, maybe like a candy or something, plus the ticket, it's like $50.
Easily. Yeah, I was gonna say.
I'm so glad I don't have kids. I have to haul them into a movie theater.
My dad. Well, you could have asked him yesterday. My dad used to make us pop popcorn before we left the house.
How'd you get it in?
We'd sneak in with little baggies full of popcorn. Everybody would have a little plastic baggie full of popcorn. Sneak a drink from home too.
But that's not enough popcorn.
Well, we were kids.
I mean, yeah, but a little baggie of popcorn.
You could bring a bigger baggie, I suppose. The principle would remain the same.
Wouldn't you guys want more popcorn? You see everybody eating out of the bucket?
No. Yeah, the only thing, when you have kids, you can also get them to share while they're young. It's
I guess so.
tougher to do that when they get older. but
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
When I brought my kids to the theater once, and it was fine. We just got one popcorn, watched Mario. Everybody had time. 4 and 6.
Oh, for you, okay.
Yeah.
I was very young when I saw The Champ.
Do you remember it?
Yeah.
Loved it?
I was literally maybe 5 or 6. I saw The Champ with Ricky Schroeder and Jack Warden and John Voight in the theater.
John Voight?
Yeah. I was embarrassed to cry because everybody was crying at the end.
You didn't want to? You don't want to show that vulnerability?
Right, no. It was sad, though.
I'm sure.
Champ passes away.
Just 30 plus 15 for the popcorn is 45, plus 12 for the drink.
$60.
Yeah, $57. But it's once in a lifetime. And you get a free mini poster. I forgot about the free mini poster.
Well, her ticket is $30, so I wonder what piece of the ticket. It's obviously she's getting a percentage of the ticket, so they had to raise it. I wonder what she gets per ticket.
Good question. Doesn't have to be much because she can sell so many. You know what I mean? It's like you could do way more than a stadium full
Like,
of people.
does the concessions?
I mean, you know what's sick about this? It's not like it's not live. She just sits at. She's just sitting at home. Like this is just extra.
Yeah,
like
it's a show she's already done.
She already got paid for the performance.
Yeah,
she already got paid off the tickets to the performance.
Yep.
And now it's like, hey, remember that performance We can make an extra. So let's say it brings in $100 million with her merch and everything. I mean, she's got to make. You think she can clear $60 million? Or am I over?
Nah, I don't think you get 60%.
With the merch included?
It depends on the merch. Like, for instance, if she's selling, no, she won't make 60 million. Because if you're selling, let's say it makes 100 million.
Right.
The theater takes their money.
The theater doesn't make a lot of money off tickets. They make a lot of money off.
Well, the concessions. That's probably, maybe they had to give the theater the right to make a cup and everything.
Okay, so maybe she's not getting a ton of money on the merch. Right, so it wouldn't be 60 then. It would be more like.
She might just be getting a piece of the tickets.
But again, it's easy, $30 million.
Yeah, she doesn't have to do anything. Like,
Nothing.
literally, it's already done. All you have to do is just be Taylor.
Yeah.
And she funded this movie herself. So she didn't pay a
studio.
film studio to direct it.
So this Taylor Swift, because of that goddamn Scooter Braun is why.
Yep.
Fuck him, am I right?
Well, even if she did pay them, she would still own. She's at a point now; she'll never make a mistake again, business wise. Like, she owns everything.
I'll tell you who she wouldn't go into: Soros family. She wouldn't let the Soros family touch this movie. You know
Stay away from fucking Taylor.
That's right. You don't listen to the Soros versions of her albums, do you?
I got really disappointed when I heard that.
That the Soros family owns a lot of her
with Scooter, yeah,
with Scooter.
Now, Felipe in Texas, I had not heard this because I didn't know about this other thing.
What's up, Felipe?
Good evening.
Morning, guys.
Hey.
You were talking about studio scramming. Blumhouse, Jason Blum had to push The Exorcist a week earlier because of this.
Wow.
They didn't want to, but then again, you're really not competing with the same fans.
I mean,
the 17-year-old fucking
kinda
teenage
are.
girl.
Yeah,
fan.
that's who goes to horror movies.
Maybe.
And the concert to the Alamo Drafthouse too.
Say that again.
They're expanding the concert to the Alamo Drafthouse.
I was wondering if that was going to happen. Yeah, AMC got the deal, and then AMC sold everything, so they're like, okay, you can go to the Alamo Drafthouse as well.
Yeah. Huh. Interesting. What's this new Exorcist movie? That's what made me want to.
Is it?
Yeah, it's going to be shit.
It's like a sequel, right?
Is it a sequel or a remake?
No, it's not a remake.
It's a sequel.
It's a sequel.
Oh, Believer. Oh, no.
The Exorcist Believer.
Can we
It
see
could be
a little
good.
trailer?
Thank you, Felipe.
Yeah, no, but it can't be.
The Nun 2 is coming out this week.
I
Remember
know.
The Nun?
Of course
She's
I do.
back.
I was already invited to go see The Nun too.
Who were you invited by?
Somebody I live with who said, you want to go see it? It was like a Monday night. I'm like, no.
I hope she does her roach scream. You don't want to see The Nun 2?
I don't. I would, though. I mean, I don't mind a bad horror movie once in a while. There's always
Yeah.
a scary moment.
Jump scare?
Something, yeah.
Yeah.
You want to watch a little of this trailer?
Yeah.
The Exorcist, Now I'm a Believer.
Okay. It's Linda Blair again. Doors creaking. Oh.
Oh, shit, she's eating the Bible.
Oh,
Don't be scared. We've met before.
That's what's her face.
I know, Ellen Burstyn.
Yeah.
Boy, they must have paid her a lot.
I don't know. What else is she doing?
I guess so.
Are you looking for Reagan? Are you looking for Reagan?
Oh.
I'm scared, dude.
Oh. Yuck.
It's a sequel.
Oh, this is bad.
It's a
fucking
sequel.
hideous.
What do you think evil is? I'll tell you what I think it is.
Well, now what?
Of course.
We're born in this world with hope and dreams and a desire to be happy.
Right.
Dad?
Oh, shit.
Something's going on with my daughter.
It's happening to my daughter, too.
Oh, no.
Bunch
the
of
devil
kids.
has one wish,
Wherever those girls went, they brought something back with them.
to make us
Oh, I'm
lose
seeing this
faith,
for sure. This looks fucking awesome.
Daughter's back.
to kill it in us. And the devil never gives up.
Oh, she's right.
Yeah, the devil is persistent. Hard worker.
Where's the other girl?
Oh, Jesus.
Oh.
Oh, how does she know?
What you're doing here is dangerous. People have died on both sides of possession.
Oh, no.
Why can't they do anything right these days?
What are you talking about? This is the trailer. They did this right.
If you don't make it, I don't make it.
Mama.
What is it, baby?
I can't see you.
Baby, I'm right here.
I
trick.
don't want to go to hell.
Oh shit!
Do your homework, bitch.
That trick on
Oh my god!
It's a terrible voice.
There are 2 heartbeats. Is it working? They're beating in sync.
It's the same demon.
I hate that lady, by the way, whoever
You don't
she
like
is.
her?
No, she stinks.
Oh,
The devil's always busy. Shut up.
tired of her nonsense.
I fucking hate her.
Gotcha. Oh jeez.
I mean,
Looks awesome.
it looks more horrendous than I imagined it could look.
Oh.
I love Ellen Burstyn, but they literally at this age, to get her to destroy her legacy.
I don't know. They're destroying any legacy. The
You're probably
Exorcist
right, yeah.
stands
It does, yeah.
on its own.
And The Exorcist 2 was not, is he here? Oh, okay.
I'm sure this will be better than the Exorcist sequels.
The Exorcist 2 was not great, but
No.
Exorcist 3 was excellent. That was a scary
Yeah.
fucking movie with George C. Scott.
Yeah, but I mean, it wasn't the Exorcist.
No, but it was in a way because it was a continuation in the book, I think, called Legion, and it was very, very scary. And it was starred Brad Dourif, who was Billy Bibbit in Cuckoo's Nest.
Sure.
And it was just an interesting concept, and they kept the story going well. Like me and my buddy Kenny watched it.
Hello, Mr.
Not
Norton. I'm
that
here to go
one.
to the cinema.
I don't like scary movies.
That gives me the willies.
Yeah. No, we got it from Blockbuster Rev as a joke.
Right.
And it was
Oh, that's cool.
and it was like we were both sitting there going, this is fucking horrifying.
You're both trying to make fun of it and like, I'm scared. Is he scared?
Dude, it was
like, you don't
legit-
want to be the.
It was legit scary. I'll never forget being in his living room. He had one of those giant couches with like a bunch of ottomans that like 5 people could sleep on. And we were both just sitting on this thing like, holy fuck. This is really creepy.
That's awesome.
Yeah. The Exorcist 3, I part 1 kind of goes into part 3. One seems to follow.
Like they skipped, like they were like, let's ignore part 2 ever happened.
It picks up with Damien, like
Damien,
who died at the end of the first one.
Mm.
But they said like they show that he was taken to a hospital and whatever it was in him left. It was just very interesting how they did it.
Yeah.
But you watch it and it didn't ruin it for you. Patrick Ewing had a cameo in that.
I love Patrick Ewing.
I know, it was so strange to see him.
Nick's legend.
But it was about it was this serial killer, which again sounds so corny to describe it, but who had inhabited one of the bodies and was running around decapitating people and draining their blood while they were awake. It was really great, giving them succinylcholine.
Sounds like Child's Play.
Well, I mean, this was first.
Exorcist 3.
What year was Child's Play?
89.
Oh, that was first. Okay, this is 90, 89. Whatever. Whenever you say serial killer, it's just so corny.
Yeah.
But this wasn't.
Yeah.
The Gemini killer. Yeah, George C. Scott was fuck. He played the part that Lee J. Cobb had played in the first one, which was Lieutenant Kinderman.
Sure.
And Lee J. Cobb was, on the waterfront, 12 Angry Men. Great fucking
classic actor.
Yeah, man. One of those, like the original, like cranky old man guy, but great.
One of those guys that you like always saw as an old man. Like there is no version of this person that's not a cranky old man.
He played the lead gangster in, you ever see On the Waterfront?
Yeah.
The guy who beat up Brando at the end of it on the dock.
Right.
You'll never work these docks again, Terry. That's a good movie. If anyone hasn't seen On the Waterfront, that's not really a stretch to say.
No,
but a lot of people in the younger generations may not have seen it.
It's an older movie.
Sure, our guest has seen it.
Yes,
What a
I would.
segue.
I was so good.
Fucking
I mean,
good.
well, coming off of my input, it was an older movie.
Yeah, I'm so good with segues. I really know how to just take a moment and just kind of push it right into the next moment.
Sean Reck is joining us. Sean is the director of Convicting a Murderer, which the first episode premieres tomorrow night at 9 p.m. for free on X, and then moves over to Daily Wire Plus. This is basically it's 10 parts, right?
Yeah, it's 10 full hours. Yep.
10 hours, and it's the counterpoint, I would say, to Making a Murderer, right?
The rest of the story, for
The
sure.
rest
to
of the
use
story.
Paul Harvey phrase.
And we've always felt like we interviewed Ken Krantz a while ago.
Yeah, I watched that.
And it was really like, I always felt that he got a bad rap and they left so much stuff out. So I love that you did this. I love it.
You know, I watched Making a Murderer and I believed it. And then Catherine Schultz in the New Yorker tore it to shreds like a week later. You know, but a lot of people don't read that stuff.
Right.
And, you know, she said, here's everything they left out. And then, isn't it funny that everything they left out would have made Stephen look worse? Things like that. So, So I, as a filmmaker, I had my movie out at the time called A Murder in the Park. I was just like, well, somebody's going to make the mother of all, you know, slapbacks. And I can't wait to watch it. And no one did. So the law enforcement officers saw A Murder in the Park and they called us up and said, you guys were the first people to ever expose what they call the innocence industry. I never heard that term. So we would trust you to tell this story. And, you know, after some haggling, because we weren't going to give them any control.
Right.
And we didn't. I have final cut. We made a deal where they weren't going to do anything else. And they were going to let me do this. And I didn't think it would take 6 years, but it did.
It's very thorough. Like we were able to see like the first, I watched the first, I think 2.5 episodes. It just got a little bit late. We only got them yesterday. And it's so good because you're painstakingly going over things that Making a Murderer showed. And we're not even into the evidence yet, but you're showing
we haven't
how
really gotten into the Teresa Hallback stuff at all. It's all sort of
it's all lead up and backstory, but you're showing this complete picture of Stephen Avery that they really glossed over. And it's when you see what they left out, that they had 10 episodes. They easily could have put this stuff in, but you know that there was a motive for them purposefully leaving it out, and it was to make him look like a victim.
You'll hear it in future episodes. We have prison calls of them saying, this is your movie. We hope this movie helps. I'm going to go back to work on your movie. We have all their prison calls, the filmmakers and Steven. So there's no, they're not going to have any answers for this.
Well, do you think, like, as you're making this, because like I said, we've seen the first 3, so we haven't seen the stuff that gets really deep into the case.
Mm-hmm.
Is the problem that, look, if you look at this evidence, this guy is clearly guilty, or is it, no, what we're trying to show is that the Netflix doc was misleading and that he's a much worse person than you realized and somebody maybe capable of this?
We're trying to say, before you say the jury and judges got it wrong, you know, judges because of the appeals, you need to know the full background. Okay. So you can view this in context. You need to see the patterns. And then, you know, maybe he didn't do it. I don't know. You know, I tend to agree with the jury, but, you know, you need the full background, and we do get into a lot of other things. You know, I mean, he's just not. You know, when they say Stevie stole a cheese sandwich and, you know, a 6-pack of Pabst Blue Ribbon, that's just not true.
Yeah, some of the stuff you guys go over very early on in the series is like, I mean, hideous stuff.
And some of it too, you're looking at like in itself, him breaking into a place 3 times and not one is not bad. But then again, when you add this to it and you add that to it and you add that to it, and then you see the documentary makers left all of it out.
How about the burglary spree on his honeymoon?
Right. Yeah.
Everyone does that.
Yeah. Yeah, he went out and stole it. What was it, like not a snowblower, but like a moped or something, or a bike?
Weapons.
Oh, did he steal weapons?
Yeah.
Oh, the shotguns, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
he stole shotguns. Yeah, he was a bad guy.
Do you think that his time, because a big part of it too is the way, sort of while he was in jail for the crime that he did not do, the first 6 years for the crime that he did do, the next 12 for what he didn't do.
Thanks for getting that.
Right.
Yeah,
I saw. Yeah, that was I didn't know that until I watched
I didn't
the
either.
doc.
They said 18 years, and then you're like, oh, wait a minute. That first one
They
was
were like,
for
no,
an
6
attempted.
years he was guilty.
It was for the attempted kidnapping, right? Of the cousin.
But do you think
at
that
gunpoint?
Do you think that
with a baby in the car?
Right. Yeah.
Do you think that time in prison changed him as a person? Because, you know, there's you go over in a lot of detail the communications from prison, the way he was talking to his wife that would become his ex-wife, the way he was talking to other family members,
his kids.
Yeah, his kids, which was, I mean, that's when you talk about hideous stuff. Do you think that he became a different person in prison, that it somehow
it's possible
brought
that
this
he got,
out in him?
It's possible that he got even worse, but he went in my opinion, a pretty twisted guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he just I think he was like the favorite kid. I think he was the alpha male in the family when the father got older. And if you watch the whole series, you're going to hear some stuff you're not going to believe, because these people are painted as they're painted as poor. They're not poor. They're painted as these folksy, happy people. They're not. They're miserable and they're sick. And you're going to hear some phone calls. You're going to hear some things from the parents that are going to shock you. We're not trying to destroy their reputation. And Dolores Ma Avery just recently passed away, but I mean, this is stuff that happened, so we're documenting it.
Yeah, it's fair too, because one thing that always rubbed me wrong about the original, and I remember watching this, is every time Teresa Hallback's family was on, they were the villains, and I was like, "What the fuck with these?" And I caught myself going, "I'm rooting against these people whose they're the families of the murder victim," and that always rubbed me the wrong way. I'm like, "Wait, how am I watching this?" And I think after that, I started Googling things that the Avery case left out, because like, why am I rooting against the family? Like I was falling into the documentary thing of thinking he didn't do it. So whenever they came on, they were the bad guys because they were saying that he was
you start
guilty.
to realize, there is something.
There's this. The documentary makers are doing something here that's kind of shitty. So I started looking into stuff that was evidence that was left out.
And he led people down that road. Alec Baldwin on his podcast and his show was like, "There's something about Teresa's brother. He's smooth as silk, but I don't see any remorse." It's just like, wait, that all people are like, "Oh, we're past making the truthers now." They're like, "Yeah, we know Making a Murder was all BS, but we found 80 more things." Okay. Right. Well, Making a Murder is what made this train leave the station.
Yeah.
People got divorced over this.
It's weird that it's weird that show business people would also kind of fall into the narrative thing, because it's like, how
did you see
projects are made.
You see the tweets that we
I was thinking
everybody, Ricky Gervais. I mean, like everybody.
Yeah. I didn't even fault people who at first, because I think at first I believed it.
Well, I believe it.
Of
course.
So people who are at first going justice, but it's like once you get into it, and once Ken Krantz puts out a book, and once there's so much information available, the fact that you guys mentioned something which was really good in this, which is how people dig in their heels and just don't want to be wrong, and they don't want to let go of the point of view. And instead of just admitting like, "Oh, fuck, those documentary makers," which by the way, the fact that he was wrongly convicted and spent all those years in prison and then got out and committed a murder is still a fascinating story. They could have just told it accurately, and it still would have been an interesting 3-part documentary at least. They didn't need to.
Well, that's what it originally was, a 3-part documentary.
Oh, really?
At Doc NYC or wherever it showed. And it languished for years. This is not 1,000% confirmed, but they bid on the Jinx. They were trying to get the Jinx, but they wanted it to be bingeable.
Netflix, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
HBO won the Jinx.
Right.
And that's when supposedly, allegedly, that's when they were like, "Oh my God, our algorithms are telling us we need a long form crime piece. What about that piece of crap we saw in New York? Can we fix it?" That's allegedly the story. I'm that's not 100% confirmed.
Well,
but that's what I've been told by numerous people, including some folks involved with the Jinx, because they had FU money.
Right.
They could just say no. They took a lower bid to put it on HBO because HBO serialized it. They wanted people to think about every episode every week. And Netflix was like, "No, our computer's telling us it has to all be bingeable," which worked like a charm with Making a Murder. So
and it was the first. I mean, it revolutionized. I feel like there are a lot of documentaries now that are far longer than they need to be, because
we used to be a bunch of beggars, documentary filmmakers. We used to get I never did, but we used to get grants, do crowdfunding, all this stuff, and just beg to tell the straight news. So when all these networks, when Fox went right and MSNBC went left, and they left the truth untold in the middle, they handed us an opportunity on a silver platter. Us documentarians, and all of a sudden, since around the Jinx, that changed the game.
Yeah,
we make millions of dollars in documentaries now, but man, that's going to get killed if we don't tell the truth.
So is that kind of your motivation here? Is like, as a guy who makes documentaries,
I want to preserve the market. I want to preserve the market. To be honest with you, I'm not going to apologize for employing 40 people. And doing 6 or 8 films at a time, which is what we do, or Catching Predators. I own that show with Chris Hansen. So the stuff that we do, that's what finances it. So the market corrected itself, and now we're going to screw ourselves up by using narrative filmmaking techniques to tell news. Then the documentarians are like, hey, we didn't have a dog in this race. Yeah, you did. And they also say, oh, we use narrative filmmaking techniques. Well, you can't do that. You can't do that when it's implied. People trust us and they think they're watching the truth. That's why the record had to be corrected. I would have, I made a lot of money. I would have done this for free. And by the way, I was completely blackballed in Hollywood. My agents here in New York were like, because they co-pro with Netflix. They were like, we don't even want to talk about that project.
So Netflix is pissed about this.
I don't know. Netflix didn't tell anybody to not buy it. I don't believe there's anything nefarious there. I just think everybody's afraid to piss them off.
The Daily Wire, I'm watching this. I'm like, it's interesting what they're putting on that platform. Like this is.
Oh, they're doing a lot of non-political stuff. They're doing children's programming that just doesn't have any trans people. They're doing a lot of stuff just to feed the masses who don't like the way things are going right now. The Daily, I was a charter subscriber.
Yeah, I don't subscribe to it, but I'm almost tempted to see the rest of this because I do want to see the rest of this. And I know Candace Owens is, I guess, a producer on it.
Yeah, and Candace rewrote the entire series,
and she narrates it and does it. I mean, from the first 3 episodes, she did a great job. But I was surprised at the Daily Wire. I'm like, yeah, this is like a real studio. Like when you watch it, it's not like what you would expect a web company to be doing.
It's not like some guys who runs this company is just making a bunch of stuff.
Right,
It's
this is like a legit studio
They have
production.
Hundreds of employees. I mean, you should see the place. It's a secret location, but it's a really, really cool operation with all these phenomenal sets. And I mean, it's big.
What was the first thing you saw in this Avery case that made you go like, fuck, this is wrong? Like, what were the first piece of evidence? For me, it was a bit of, I think Ken Krantz said there was more blood than they indicated in the car and in other places that the documentary left out. What was the first one?
The first thing for me was, as a filmmaker, when I was watching it, I'm like, this blood vial thing is just a bomb. The fact that there's a hole in the blood vial. Little did I think how the hell the blood get in the vial.
Right.
Okay. But that was the big thing for me. And then I just couldn't understand as a filmmaker when I watched the end. I thought, I'm watching like the last 5 minutes of episode 10. I'm like, they're going to close this loop. They're going to say some more about the blood vial. They never did. It was a non-issue. There was EDTA in it, in the blood. That was in the vial. It's a preservative. So that would have been in the sample and it wasn't. So there was somebody ready to testify. The defense didn't even they didn't even bring it up, so they didn't have to bring in that nurse to testify how they put the blood in there.
Right.
When I saw that, I knew it was deliberate.
Yeah,
I knew it was deliberate. And then I watched their interviews, and they were like, "Well, we had to do it for brevity. This thing has to track this," which I understand is hard to get a movie to track. Okay, so you don't always put everything in, but the things that fall on the cutting room floor, if they all things that would have made Steven look bad, there's something wrong.
Well, what do you think the motivations of the filmmakers were? If they why would they deliberately try to make this guy look better than he was?
Because Netflix sent them notes telling them to.
Oh, so the original
we have the notes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was 3 parts or a 3-hour doc. I'm not positive on that. I know it was profoundly changed when Netflix got a hold of it, and they wrote a lot of notes to the filmmakers to try and get them to have a point of view. And to try and get them to make the baddies look worse. Every time there's a cop, use ominous music. That's a note. Oh, it's in the series. Yes. I hope people know this is just a theory because we're kind of saying the cops killed Teresa. That's from a Netflix. That's a note from a Netflix.
How did you get the notes?
Discovery from the lawsuit where Andrew Colburn sued Netflix.
Oh wow!
But he lost. I mean, it's a very high standard. It's tough to win those cases.
Sure, but once stuff gets into Discovery, it's there.
It's there.
Wait, he lost. He was one of the cops. Did he sue for defamation?
Sued for defamation, and the court found for the filmmakers, which, I feel bad because I like Andrew Colburn as a human being. After the interview, he cried and hugged me and said, "Thank God someone's going to try and tell this story the right way." But there should be an extremely high standard. Otherwise, people are swatting you, trying to lawyer you to death.
Yeah, but there's also when they get something so wrong, like if they paint somebody as a murderer or as an incompetent who allowed a murderer to, this should also be for journalists and anybody, you should have to know that you're telling the truth before you put it on film. It shouldn't just have to be actual malice. You should have to know you're telling the truth.
At the beginning of this, when we started filming, Andrew Colburn handed me what we used to have with all of our DVDs in it, one of those, vinyl cases with 37 CDs, audio CDs, full of death threats. 37. Wow. And most of them are from other countries. So this impacted, nobody knows for sure how many people watched Making a Murderer, probably 100 million plus.
Right.
I've been flown to Norway to talk about the progress of our project. First class to Oslo, just to talk about it. So it's a very big thing in Europe. And anyway.
When you see, like, Brendan Dassey, we always, like, I definitely felt he was a part of it and guilty. But he obviously, his mental capacity is not good. But that lawyer, his first lawyer, whose name, was it Len?
Len Kaczynski.
He got painted as such a bad guy, but it turned out he was giving him the right advice to take the 7-year deal. If that was 7 years, right?
He was giving the right advice, but that wasn't awesome lawyering.
No, but but his advice,
he made some huge mistakes.
He got painted as this evil guy, right? But wasn't his advice good about taking the 7, like, just take this deal?
He should have. He should have taken that deal. He'd be out.
Oh, he would have been out. Yeah.
That kid. If Stephen Avery didn't exist, that kid would be playing video games that day, not out. Doing whatever he actually did.
Do you think he knew he was committing a rape? Meaning, or did he think that he was just having sex with this person because his uncle told him to? Or do you think that he knew, like, hey, I'm doing something that this person doesn't want me to do, I'm hurting them?
I don't know. He went home in between while she was still alive, allegedly, and could have saved her. His mother on a phone call says, "My God, you could have been the hero." He goes, "Yeah, but then I would have been, in trouble." So he had enough.
Okay.
He said that on a prison
self-preservation, yeah.
So
but also, I mean, like I said, we haven't seen the whole doc or anything, but it seems like the Avery family as a whole, the way they behaved and kind of behaved within a familial unit, you could easily see why a young person who was diminished as it was, but also just somebody who wasn't an adult, the idea of what's normal and what's not normal could have been dramatically different growing up in an Avery family than
sure. His
outside
paradigm had to be all messed up.
Yeah,
being a part of that family.
Right. That's what it seemed like anyway. Watching. So when you were talking about, finding that spot that people like, where it's just telling the truth, did it concern you at all when you landed with the Daily Wire? Because regardless of whether, we think that they put out political shows, we know the perception, right, of the Daily Wire is that they are this political body, especially Candace Owens is a very politically polarizing figure to attach with your movie. I'm sure, or with the series, I'm sure that without watching, you're going to get a lot of people who are going to think this is somehow tied to right-wing something.
It's not a right-wing piece. I'm Republican. Okay, I'll tell you that right now. But it's not about politics. I think there are guilters who are on both sides of the aisle. I think there are truthers who are on both sides of the aisle. What I was worried about and what I had never done before was add a layer of commentary. Candace wanted to give some commentary. I usually just lay out the facts. If you watched A Murder in the Park or White Boy or any of the stuff I've done, we just lay it out there and let people decide. And we don't have to be ham-handed with the music and things like that for emotion, because facts will make people emotional. She wanted to add a layer of commentary, and she rewrote the whole series, like I said, and I'm fine with it now. Because people, because we're transparent. It's commentary. You can throw the pillow at the TV then. If you don't agree with her, it's okay. You don't have to. She's not using radar or X-rays to put things into your head.
Right.
And the Daily Wire is not like a lockstep MAGA. I mean, like I said, I've been a subscriber forever. I'm a huge Ben Shapiro fan. Every day during Trump's presidency, he did a segment called Good Trump, Bad Trump. He ripped on Trump every day of his presidency about his buffoonery. So they're not like, jackbooted Nazis. They're not. They just speak the truth, in my opinion. Yeah, they go to the right, but it's not as partisan as people think.
Yeah, I didn't feel as political at all. Like, I'm watching this, I didn't feel like Candace Owens was giving any message other than commenting on the facts of the case. Like, I didn't feel like there was anything they were trying to tell me that didn't belong.
The only thing that's probably a little political is we think, and some psychologists think that that was the start of the Mike Brown hands up, don't shoot movement.
Right.
And we thought that there were people who probably wanted, a white Mike Brown. to root for. So that's about as political as we got.
Yeah, in the very beginning. Remember in the
And that actually might have been a fair question to ask. Like, hey, did that motivate people to go, oh my God, yeah, it happens to.
Well, that's that algorithm that tells Netflix what their objectives are and what kind of shows, what their mandates. They're called in the business. They're called mandates. You know, like we get mandates. All A&E says no more cupcakes, no more pit bulls. Find big personalities who rags to riches. That's a mandate.
Right.
Okay, so you get a mandate sheet. You know, who knows what makes their mandates? How the sausage is made. Does some of that social stuff get put in there? Because I was told Netflix isn't made up of a bunch of artists. Netflix is more like McKinsey and Company. They're made up of a bunch of analysts. And that's why they're so successful. You know, they know exactly what their audience wants, and they got so sick of trying to find it that they started making it themselves. I actually love Netflix. I'm a Netflix subscriber. I don't think they did this to be evil. I think they did it to serve their audience, but they went too far in serving their audience.
Yeah, it just started to annoy me when I started looking into what they left out and this need. Let me ask you, as a documentary maker, what is the best documentary, obviously that you're not involved with, that you've ever seen? The fairest one that you've ever seen?
Oh man, I wasn't ready for that question. Probably The Keepers.
Did I see that? Is that the old guys who kind of live in oh no, that's My Brother's Keeper.
No, that was a fantastic. That was. I need a shower after that one.
Yeah, My Brother's Keeper. What was The Keepers?
Keepers is the movie, the Duplass brothers movie about the priests and the school and the dead girl in Philadelphia, I believe, and the cover up and how this girl was being pimped out to cops. It was like a real Pizzagate. And how this priest in charge of this school got away with it. It was like, you know, it was just awful. It's Catholic Church stuff.
Reminds me of Vatican Girl. Isn't it Vatican Girl?
It's about a nun who was killed, who was murdered.
Really?
Yeah.
And how about another one that reminds me of Stephen Avery's?
By the way, it's a Netflix series.
Is it? so they
My
done it
agents co-produced it.
Paradise Lost was about the Damien Echols and
the West Memphis 3. That was one of the very early. Shouldn't have been in jail movie, and probably something that influenced Making a Murderer, right? As big as that series got.
Yes, and it's kind
series
of
of movies.
Iconic. Do you think those guys? Do you think that was a fair thing, or because I've heard since that the documentary makers kind of did something similar, but I don't know any of the.
I'm not familiar with that case.
Okay.
That's the one everybody always asks about. I'm not familiar with that case. I did one. A Murder in the Park was about Al Story Simon, and we walked them out at the end of the movie, and I just spoiled it for everybody.
That's right.
But it was about a double wrongful conviction where the Innocence Project actually put a guy away to get another guy off death row and to end the death penalty in Illinois. And Time Magazine named it one of the 15 most fascinating true crime stories ever told. That was my first work, and it was kind of a piece of garbage filmmaking wise, but it was.
The story was
incredible.
Oh, so the Barry Sheck and the Innocence Project are really, because they only want to help you if you're truly innocent, not like search and seizure shit, but like real innocence.
Yeah, like recants are a dime a dozen. Like a 30-year-old woman who testified when she was 12.
Yeah.
Of what she saw, and she feels guilty, and she knows the family of the killer, and she's like, boy, I have the power to get him out if I just say I'm not sure. You know, now.
Yeah.
Recants are a dime a dozen. It has to be DNA. I showed that film to the yeshiva, the Barry Sheck Innocence Project here in New York. I showed a Murder in the Park to them, and they were like, well, that's not how we operate. And about 2 weeks later, they were no longer allowed to use the name Innocence Project. That group that did it. Because anybody could use that name, and they said, stop using that name. Now it's like the Center for Innocence.
Wait,
wow.
Wait, who's
that was Northwestern University.
Oh, so Barry Sheck's group told them not to use it?
Yes, they said, please stop using our name.
Wow. So Barry Sheck's group didn't back up your movie?
No, they said that's not how we operate, but they don't, because it probably hurts the Innocence Project name, even though I think it's a really noble, awesome organization. And it spurred what are now into conviction integrity units that are popping up all over the world, all over the country. And there should be conviction integrity units for people who run out of appeals.
Yeah, because it's crazy how
there should be one in Wisconsin. And you know what? Let Stephen go through the process. And by the way, Stephen has the best appellate attorney who ever walked the earth. She can't get him out.
She can't. Yeah, she was really cocky too in that second. What's her name? Kathleen
Zellner.
Zellner.
But
Yeah,
there are a lot of movies about her cases. Her cases are fantastic, and she's really good at what she does. But I think she probably has. I'm guessing, and she'll tweet that I'm full of crap. I'm guessing she has a little remorse about taking this case. That's my just personal opinion.
Did she lose a round recently?
Yeah, they had something go against them like 6 weeks ago, I think. Yeah, they've never been successful in getting them a new trial.
Did you try to get Kathleen for your movie?
No. She's the star of the second season of Making a Murderer, and
yeah,
she made it clear. Steven, when Steven asked everyone to not cooperate with our film, we didn't bother asking.
Oh, he did.
I think I did write her a couple emails.
Right.
I didn't expect her to participate. I didn't expect the filmmakers to participate. They were in the middle of a lawsuit. I reached out to Netflix a few times, a few different ways, just on LinkedIn and stuff like that. And they never answered me.
Are they being sued or are they suing someone, the filmmakers?
The filmmakers and Netflix were being sued and they won.
Oh, the defamation thing with okay.
What have the filmmakers said anything about the criticisms?
No, they haven't said much. I think that they're kind of shell shocked from everything.
Don't they just say, we let it speak for itself? I thought I heard them say that.
Yeah, they said that we let it speak for itself, and we just documented what happens. All demonstrably not true.
Right, because there's an editing. I mean, again, you're telling a story regardless of what it is, because you want people to keep watching.
Sure, you got to have the hook at the end.
The first documentary in history, the recognized first documentary ever, is called Nanook of the North. Okay, it was back in the 1920s, and it was fake. The very first doc was fake. Right?
It was. Was it reenactments or the whole thing was a lie?
It was about the Inuit. The Eskimos, and they showed their lives, and it was all staged. This guy's biting a phonograph record like he's going to eat it, and the guy had a record player at home. They had radios. They put on. It wasn't a real family. They did a harpoon hunt. They hadn't done that in 30 years of a walrus. It was all staged by the filmmaker.
But was it well received and popular and people loved it?
Oh yeah, people. It's in film school. Like, here's the first doc. Here's the foundation of our filmmaking techniques. Unfortunately, it's totally fake.
How do you avoid the temptation though when you're making a documentary and you know that if I go down this road, it makes the story better and more interesting? Isn't it hard to even if you can't do it? Isn't it hard to avoid that? Things that will make it more interesting.
You can do it, but you have to wink at the audience. You have to say, look, this is just a theory. This is the things Netflix said in their notes should have been said in the series. Like, hey, this is just a theory. But instead they just pushed it so hard and just accomplished it so well, getting people to think that these law enforcement officers were the epitome of evil.
Yeah, and didn't they? But Dassey, because they showed that interview, poor guy. But weren't there hours of interviews before that where he said
in which he was not led? In the original interview, he was not led. They look, when I watched it and I saw them saying, "Okay, I'm going to come out and say it. Who shot her in the head?" I was like, "That's leading. That doesn't. No.
Yeah,
that's horrible. It's horrible what they're doing to this kid." I believe that. But then I watched the original interview. When his cousin said, my cousin Brendan is crying every day and he lost 50 pounds and he's not himself and there's something wrong. When she told the police that and they thought he might be a witness. They brought him in that interview. He spilled his guts, and that's going to make. I'm going to get 1,000 tweets over that, but he did. He spilled his guts, and they sat there and listened.
What are the tweets? What do you mean 1,000? People disagree with that?
You wouldn't believe the hate I'm getting right now. But,
really?
Well, I'm destroying a religion.
There's a lot of people who are supportive of Stephen Avery, of Brendan Dassey, and so to make I would understand why you're getting hate if people don't believe that what you're saying is true.
But why so dug in on it? Like when you read evidence that was left out, why are they so dug in when they?
A psychologist explained this to us. He said you can shoot down one part of it, and they're going to say, "Oh, okay, fine. He's a piece of crap, fine." And then they build a wall, and it's partitioned off, and so they've got these 25 or 30 partitions of stuff they know isn't true, but it's never together. What this documentary is all of that assembled, and in my opinion, well told, and their heads are going to explode.
Yeah, Brendan, you feel a little bad for, because again, I maybe he did know what he was doing, but I have to see how you guys unfold it, because I still thought he belonged in prison, because I still think he was a part of it. But Avery was obviously I think the worst of the two.
Brendan would never have done anything if it weren't for Stephen Avery. So the Making a Murderer title is appropriate. Stephen Avery made Brendan Dassey a murderer. That's the truth.
Yeah, because you realize he was kind of a psychopath. When you guys show the evidence you show, he was like a psychopath all those years. He wasn't like just a good guy. I think Candace said the terms got mixed up with the wrong crowd or however.
No, he was.
This was
he
a
was
bad,
a leader of the pack.
He was a
always the
shit
leader of the
guy.
pack. Yeah, he's a pretty awful guy, and we spent a lot of time showing that.
And did you just
took
try
3 episodes to show it?
Yeah, that's where I'm at now.
There's
So
that much stuff.
I'm literally have to pay for a subscription now, and I'm not just saying that because I'm interviewing. I actually want to see how this turns out because it was
thank
so
you.
in depth.
That's what I hope happens. You know, that I want the Daily Wire to be successful, and I want them to be rewarded for having the guts to do this because we only had one other offer, and I didn't want to put it on this woman's crime network. You know, I just didn't for a lot of reasons.
And nobody else wanted this.
Oh, people wanted it, but their bosses didn't.
That's what I mean. Like no other network.
Look, there's so many musical chairs. The buyer, if you're a buyer, and I'm just arbitrarily saying, if you're a buyer at Hulu, there's a good chance you're going to work at Netflix one day. But if you put that on, you're not. I wouldn't think. Okay, so everybody's thinking about self-preservation, about their future. So the truth, in a sense, wasn't as important to them. So, and I think we took a risk doing this. Everything I made has been on Netflix. That's not going to happen anymore.
What was a White Boy? I thought was great too.
Thank you.
Who is that assassin? I became fascinated with that guy.
Nate Boone Kraft.
Yeah, he just died, right?
Well, did he?
I thought so. Can you look him up? I thought he just died. I was reading the guy, the giant guy who.
Yeah, I didn't know. I texted him. You know.
Well, if he responded, I'm wrong.
He didn't respond.
Oh, okay.
No, I texted him like 6 months ago. Let me tell you a funny story. So we premiered that to 2,800 people at the Detroit Institute of Art at the Detroit Free Film Festival, and I put him in a nurse's uniform, all right, so that he would look like an inmate, because nobody would ever believe that he was a free man after admitting to killing 30 people. Okay, so I put him in a basement in a laundry room in an apartment building, wearing a nurse's uniform. So 3/4 of the way through the movie, he's in the audience. He's in the back, okay? And 3/4 of the way through the movie, and I'm sitting in the front watching the audience. 3/4 of the way, he says something funny, and he goes, ah, ha, 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 and everybody knew it was his voice. And everybody in the audience turned white and slowly turned their heads, and they were like, oh my God, that guy's here.
That was amazing. That's what I'm talking. Like where you didn't because you didn't lie about it, and you do. It is a reveal that he's out. But that was great.
It was a little bit of a slime ball move. I just wanted to entertain the audience. It was implied, but we came clean at the end that he got away with it, and it was like I needed one more bomb.
Yeah, it was a great job. Troy, is he alive or dead?
I'm looking. I don't think he's dead.
Oh, maybe who am I thinking? I'm
No. Yeah, I don't see anything that says he's
might
dead.
be good. I'm glad I'm wrong.
His attorney died. Ralph Musilli.
Who is the guy in Detroit?
It's kind of a bummer. That means he's just not responding to your text.
He's sad now. He doesn't like. No, he changes numbers all the time too.
No, maybe I'm thinking of. Is he the same guy? There was one guy who had his boss was a big drug dealer, and he was very close to him, and he wound up killing his own boss. Maybe I'm mixing him up with another assassin from Detroit. I hope I'm wrong.
Gil Hill died. The guy from Beverly Hills Cop.
Not him. No, I know who that is too. Yeah. But no, not him.
He passed away before the film came out.
What was his name? The killer?
Nate Boone Kraft.
Okay, yeah, maybe I'm glad I'm wrong. I'm thinking the guy's dead, and I'm incorrect.
No, he mows old ladies' lawns. I don't think the old ladies know who he is.
Oh, really?
Is that what he does now? That's great.
Yeah, it's nice to have like a normal existence after such a crazy.
It's not that normal. I met him at McDonald's to hand him a little cash one day, and everybody walking into McDonald's knew who he was, and they were just like, "Oh God!" Like he's just, you can imagine. It's like Al Capone.
Yeah, probably is one of those things where he's mowing old women's lawns. Except depending on who's driving by, they go, "Oh, is that?"
Yeah, it's a good job. And what is Rick doing?
Rick is an entrepreneur, so he's out and about. He just, I think he started a strain or like a cannabis brand in Detroit.
Is that amazing? Like Rick Ross too is doing that now.
Freeway?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's my buddy.
Yeah. I like Rick. He's doing he's got his own thing that he's involved with, and it's so funny these guys that got locked up for it or spent time in jail.
The Freeway. So you can't. It's really, really hard to win a federal appeal.
Yeah.
Freeway won a federal appeal pro se. He was his own attorney, and he won a federal. He got out of a life sentence.
What did he find some double jeopardy thing in there?
I think he found a Brady violation. I have to go back. There's a documentary called Freeway Cracking the System that Mark Wahlberg did about Ricky, and it tells the whole story.
How did you become friends with Freeway Rick Ross?
Through Seth Ferranti, who's he used to be in the Village Voice and Scene magazine and all these things. Somebody was writing a secret article from prison every week, saying all the inside stuff. He ended up being like put in solitary for it, and he'd be a fascinating interview for you guys.
Yeah.
He's a filmmaker now, but he interviewed me as a writer for, I think it was for the Daily Beast when Murder in the Park came out. Seth Ferranti. But he was, when I found out that I was all through college and everything, I was reading the Guerrilla Convict article in Cleveland. I'm from Cleveland. It's Scene magazine in Cleveland that carried that column, and I was like, oh my God, I've been reading your stuff since I was 18 years old, and we became friends, and he's super good friends with everybody. I mean, I know Preem, Fred McGriff here in New York. I know a lot of people through Seth. He's my connection.
Those guys are always really interesting because we've interviewed Rick a few times. We had Frank Lucas when he was promoting like some American guy. He was kind of hard to understand because he had he was very old by that point and he had a heavy accent. But those guys are always so interesting. Guys that went to jail for a long time and have like this new life.
They come out and they're all right. Johnny Curry, and Herm Groman, the FBI agent who arrested him, they're buds.
Who's Johnny Curry?
Johnny Curry was the big gangster with the fur coat in Detroit from White Boy, the guy who was married to the mayor's niece, and the mayor gave him a protective detail to sell drugs.
Is that the guy where there was something he wouldn't comment on? Is that the guy in the doc?
He wouldn't comment on the killing of a child.
Yeah, there was something. He's like, I'm not going to talk about that. There was one thing. Okay, I remember that guy.
Yep. Yeah,
Wow.
but he and Herm are friends.
Do you find those?
I go, what is this? He goes, it's kind of like we were playing Cowboys and Indians. Except
real life.
Yeah.
And when you get a guy like Nate, who I guess I was incorrect, he is still alive, I would love to interview him. When you get a guy like that and you're talking to him, are there avenues he doesn't want to go down, or is he pretty comfortable with all of it?
No, he unloaded, man. I mean, he said he had to run his hit list by Hill Hill. The head of homicide had to approve the homicides. Think about how corrupt is that town.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is a famous movie star, too. Somebody wrote a tweet when they were watching. They go, I'm 10 minutes into White Boy, and Richard Wershe Jr. is the least interesting person in this movie. That's good because there's so many huge characters.
Yeah. But did you know it would unfold like that? Like when you like we love Dear Zachary. Morgan Spurlock turned us on to Dear Zachary.
That's the most intense movie I've ever watched, and it's not good filmmaking. What the hell? The guy drove around the North America with a little camera, so
sure,
I can forgive it. And the poster's weak, but that may be. That's in the top 5 documentaries ever made.
Yeah, I think so too. But it's one of those ones where you're starting out and you know that he's being truthful. You're starting out in one place, and this crazy shit just unfolds.
You never see that coming. Never see that coming. And I was like a truther. I was so mad at the Canadian government by the end of that movie for letting that happen. They let that happen.
They did, yeah.
And that poor grandfather. Oh, yeah. Dear Zachary is a phenomenal story.
My greatest accomplishment as a person is my manager one time called me, and him and his wife wanted to rent a comedy, and they didn't know what to rent. And I'm like, you should see this. The wife was just dying for a good comedy. I'm like, get Dear Zachary. I'm like, I told him, I said, don't look.
Oh my God.
Because I always tell people, don't Google it. Don't look it up. Just watch it. And that's what Morgan Spurlock said to us.
Yeah.
And he said she was upset. She was crying. It was my greatest accomplishment as a person, was ruining my fucking manager's night with his wife.
I'll tell you who else would be a great interview if you want him is my partner, Chris Hansen, because we started.
Oh, we know Chris. Yeah, he's great.
He started his own network with me called True Blue, watchtrueblue.com, where we actually restarted the whole Predator franchise, or 40 brand new episodes. And we're.
And where is that?
These guys, watchtrueblue.com, which is it's an Apple app. It's on Android, Fire Stick, Roku, or you can go to the website and sign up and watch on the web. You can cast it to your TV. It's like a little Netflix.
Isn't it amazing with Chris Hansen that this guy's a Dateline reporter? That's what he was. That was his job. And and they just do this sort of spin-off Dateline series, and it changes the course.
He thought they might do 3 of them. He thought they might do 3 of them. And these guys, when you see if you go to True Blue, we have a couple on our YouTube page. All right, so there's a YouTube page that has a couple full episodes. But when you see these guys walk in, they all know who he is.
Of course.
So they lost the Chris Hansen lottery. Okay, there's how many thousands of cities in the U.S. They're like, well, I'm addicted to sex with kids, so I'm going to show up at this house. There's a 1 in 5,000 chance that Chris Hansen's going to be there. When they see his face, their bodies, the grunts they make, some smile and they think they're famous. Like it's weird, man. But
thinking they're famous is really weird.
Oh, fanboy.
That's dark.
Fanboy Matthew. Watch that episode.
Right.
But
you see me keep going for my pen. I'm writing that down.
Don't eat beforehand.
Do you remember the guy who thought he knew Chris from the train?
Dude, I was just about to say
that was his drinking buddy. Because they all lived in Connecticut. They worked here in the city in Manhattan, and they would take the train to Connecticut. They go to the bar, have a couple drinks, and they had a drinking train.
Right, that's back when they had a drinking car on the train.
And they would sit there and get drunk together. And he showed up, and he goes, "Oh, Chris."
He's like, not you. I mean, there are a couple of classics from that era. It's that guy, the train guy, and of course, he's come up on this show before. Jeff Sokol, the pizza guy.
Yeah, that's the biggest one. He's the biggest one. I wasn't involved with the show back then.
Yeah,
we just did like the last 2.5 years, but they're really gritty and raw now. Chris swears at him.
Oh, really?
Oh God, yeah.
And Chris is a big guy.
Chris is I'm 6'2". He's probably 6'4.5".
Yeah.
And he kickboxes. Like we just filmed this training. We're making a movie called I'm Chris Hansen, and we just filmed him his whole routine yesterday, and he sits there and kickboxes with his trainer. It's crazy. Well, and I asked his trainer in an interview afterwards. I go, are you in the back of your head thinking that he might get confronted? He said, hell yeah.
Yeah.
He's 63 years old. He needs to be able to defend himself long enough for the cops to come out of the bathroom